as we'll go through all the talking points for this evening here for the All-American Cup Series. This one's going to be pretty interesting. We've seen some of the guys that are dominant on the speedways. We've seen guys that are dominant on road courses and so on and so forth. But tonight it's kind of a crapshoot. It's how can you work the draft? How can you miss all the chaos out there on the racetrack as the evening starts to develop? Practice is wrapping up there. You see the O2 just burning it down up there on pit road. So as these guys get ready for practice to wrap up, we got some things we're going to go through here this evening. Let's first start off with the All-American Cup Series schedule remainder for the rest of this year. We got, obviously, Talladega tonight, 94 laps, then 134 from Kansas. Then the Richmond Rock and Roll 200 from, obviously, Richmond Speedway. There's some short track racing. That is bound to get exciting there as well. Can't wait to get there. Atlanta, Rockingham, and then we'll wrap up this season in Homestead for the Gen 4 cars for the All-American Cup Series. Well, while we're talking about, the whole season and the wrapping up, this was the points last week after, or going into Dover, I should say. Justin Thompson had a decent lead, not a large lead, but after all the chaos and Thompson got caught up, we had pit strategies, we had guys moving guys for the race win and running away. We had calamity, we had 14 cautions, it all changed, and now Stephen Miles has jumped himself to the top of the point standings here. So as quickly as it has changed and gone right for Stephen Miles here tonight on a super speedway, it could all change once again. As you see there, Christopher Heller with his big win last week moved up into the second position. Casey Condon also moving up. Justin Thompson falling back just a little bit after last week. So the points definitely changing after last week. Some for the better, some for the worse. As we're talking about super speedways here this evening on the pre-race show, one of the big things here with these Gen 4 cars is the difference between speedways and the super speedways. They iRacing has modeled these cars to be like real life. You'll see the top left picture there of the DuPont 24. The nose is very low to the ground like we saw at Dover. You will see here tonight, just like they did in real life, the front bumper of the car is much taller for super speedway, so that pointy nose doesn't get right up under guys and wreck them, as well as a I guess you could technically call it longer back bumper, lower to the ground, so the nose and the bumper does a better job aligning as they go around the racetrack tonight. While watching practice here this evening, saw some single file stuff. We might get some of that. We saw some guys really trying to figure out how these cars are going to handle and trying to push hard in the draft here, and some guys were having some struggles with it. We got some 3-wide action as well, like we're used to seeing here in the iRacing series, especially on the CSR broadcast channel with the Gen 7s and Gen 6s. So we could see some of that as well. Qualifying is underway for this evening, so while they're doing that, let's go ahead and get a look at the national anthem.
And you see by the dawn's early light was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular amongst the
engines.
Well, while we are on the pre-race show, just want to remind everyone, if you're watching over on YouTube on the CSR broadcast channel, we do have this streaming in Ultra HD. So go down there to that pinwheel, click that button. You'll see the 1440p, the ultra high definition. Really is a step up there from the normal 1080. Not quite 4K just yet out there on the YouTube land. But, yeah, go ahead and hit that pinwheel. It'll make a significant difference, especially if you're over there watching on your iPhone with the iPhones. And if you got a good monitor or wherever you're watching from, it'll broadcast it in Ultra HD for you. So check that out, as well as if you're watching. Appreciate you guys tuning in from YouTube and Twitch alike. If you do me a favor, it helps everyone find some more content like this, find some more content for us to broadcast. If you're looking for a broadcaster, find us on all of our social medias from Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Just hit that message button. And if you need a broadcaster for a race, let me know. We'll try to set it up. I'll also try to get Tommy Rogers with us, who unfortunately is not with us here this evening. He is reffing some basketball games, so hopefully he's having fun out there, and he will be back soon. But if you could do me one favor, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe. It doesn't cost a dime. It just helps us grow our page. Get some more eyes on all these drivers here this evening. Well, heat number 1, quote unquote, is getting ready to get started here this evening. So I don't think we're going to have any cars needing to fight their way into this one. So we should be okay on that. Don't think we're going to have to keep an eye on that one here this evening. We got a lot of drivers out in the Discord right now. I believe they are finishing up, quite possibly, their drivers meeting here. So shortly we will have the field completely set. Not seeing anyone needing to take the grid for the heat race, so we should be okay. I do see a couple names on the board, but don't think they are actually going to need to race it. I think everyone that is here will, in fact, make the grid. So, gotta imagine the admin team will probably skip this, or they'll just give the drivers their final chance to go ahead, use the bathroom, grab that beer, grab that water bottle for this one here. I'm really excited about this one. I'm not really sure what we're going to see. Like I said, we saw some single file. We saw some riding the top. We saw a bunch of guys in line on the bottom. And we saw some 3 wide, some guys wrecking some wild wrecks in practice. So I imagine for a good portion of this, these guys will be fairly tame. They'll probably just try to be figuring out. But I got to imagine once we get down to about 15 laps to go, they're going to turn it loose. So I'm really excited to kind of see how these ones, how this one plays out. The other big thing here with these Gen 4 cars, as we were talking about earlier, just about like the different noses and back bumpers of these cars. If you watch NASCAR back in 2003, the sound from the speedway cars to the super speedway cars with their restrictors plates on them, they just sounded so much different than the speedway cars, but they sounded awesome. iRacing has done a great job of also capturing the sound of those cars from that time. So as you go around here tonight, we'll go ahead and, as always, do our crank it up cam and all those good fun things. But keep an ear out just if you guys notice the sound difference between the speedway car and the super speedway car. It's hard to kind of get a real good picture of it right here. I mean, you can see it there just with it at different angles. It's kind of hard to tell, but at the time they did. They used a taller front nose and back bumper on these cars, so it's gonna be a blast with these guys out here. They've really put on some super entertaining racing all the way back to Indianapolis when we had a one groove track, Watkins Glen. That was so much fun. We were able to throw a random caution in that one. Have a feeling we're not gonna need to do that here tonight. I think we're gonna see our fair shares of yellow flags here this evening with no fast repairs. I think this could come down to a race of attrition. Not sure if it's I don't know what to expect. Like I said, we could be 3 wide right off the bat. Guys try to go from the back to the front, or some guys being fairly calm out there. But some guys that like we said, we've seen them up front. We have our Casey Condrens, our Dayton Taylors, Curtis Whites. Heller was the one at Dover. And Lilith as well have been strong all season long. But you go to these super speedways, and a guy maybe whose name we haven't called out too much might just show their way to the front. One of the guys being Craig Martin, and I know that he is always on these super speedways out here on the sim. So maybe tonight is a night that Craig Martin kind of puts the demons behind him and goes ahead and grabs the victory. If you guys have a favorite driver, pop up in either the YouTube or the Twitch chat. Let me know who you guys are pulling for here this evening, and we'll try to make sure we keep an eye on them throughout. Well, I believe the time allotment here for the heat race is just about wrapping up here. So as we go, what you can expect, we're going to try to always give you all the breakdowns of all the wrecks, as we always do at the CSR broadcast channel. We'll try to catch them all. We're kind of limited with what SDK will tell us or what we can see on our own. We'll try to get some in-race reporting here from the drivers themselves. The best part is sometimes you get to hear their frustrations. Sometimes you get to hear the elations of it all, which it just adds a total, different element to all of it here. So while these guys get ready to take the grid here, we will now, I believe we have the option available for us. We will take a look at the starting lineup. I believe we just have a couple more seconds, so I'm going to go into chat here. There we go. We're in the chat. Want to know who you guys are pulling for. I know we had Patty last week up in here cheering for Christopher, who actually pulled out the win. That was awesome that his mom got to watch the win. Appreciate the support there from you guys as well. You guys are doing an incredible job. Having people come in and watch, the views on your guys' races are almost up in the 200s. So as they, so now we're going to get a little bit of a warm-up. We don't normally get to do this on the CSR broadcast channel, but while the cars are kind of by themselves in smaller packs before they get into the larger packs, we'll go ahead here and try to see if you guys can get and listen to these cars going around the racetrack. So if you were watching last weekend, now you get to visually see exactly what I was talking about. A much taller nose. They sound incredible. I got, I believe that's going to be, Justin Thompson switched up that paint scheme to, I believe that is going to be the Dale Earnhardt final win car, I think, that he's sporting right there. So an appropriate car to bring it out for Talladega to try to get his season back on track after a rough go at it at Dover last week. As you see, last week's winner. Oh, well, there's Lilith. We just had last week's winner. I wonder if he just ran it off into pit road. Well, right here, we'll keep it with Lilith as she's going around here in her 01 Celsius car with the famed 6 Mark Martin Viagra car just in behind. We'll definitely try to get a look at last week's winner. He's somewhere on the racetrack. I think he jumped up our standings or jumped back to pit road. So we'll try to get a chat with him as well at some point, as a guy who's had 2 heartbreaking races so far this season. I mean, you could call it really 3. Watkins Glen, he was up there in the mix as well. But 2 devastating P2 finishes for the driver of the 63. Could this be where the crapshoot kind of all comes back into his favor here? Got some guys spinning out on pit road. Let's see. There he is. He's switched up the Greg Biffle looking car here, white and blue, that 2511 team. there for Mr. Heller. You see the Ford Performance. We'll keep an eye on him as well in this one. Like I said, we have our favorites that we've been fortunate enough to watch here in this series. But tonight, it could be all about a guy who's struggled for the last few weeks, just finds his way to the front at the end of this one here tonight. So, without further ado, believe this is going to just be, they're just going to go ahead and get their last little warm-ups. You've seen a lot of guys also practicing getting on a pit road. That is a very good call. So, they are wrapping up their warm-up here this evening. So, let's go ahead and show you your starting lineup. Casey Carrington puts it on the pole with a 51.83. Hey, that's a great way to keep your car out of trouble, is just go ahead and put it on the pole. Curtis White outside front row. Justin Thompson, Nick Gowan, Michael Mullins, Connor LaFrance, Trevor McLaughlin, Daniel Giroux, Elijah Cole, and Jared Hutton round out your top 10 as you guys get to see the rest of the starting lineup. Dayton Taylor also with a heartbreak last week at Dover with a late caution. Really, really tough break for him as he was out there on 30-lap old tires. As you see the rest of the starting grid, I mean, and Kyle Ether, that's not a lap time I expected from him. Maybe just got a little loose off the corner. So still under 0.3 of a second between first and last here. Let's go ahead and get you down on the grid as you're going to get a look at the front bumper of the pace car here as these guys begin to roll off for their warm-up lap before we get underway here in Talladega. A very large field on hand for this one. You got some awesome painted race cars out here. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to this one because I honestly don't know what to expect from these guys up here. But Curtis White sporting a new paint scheme as well as Justin Thompson there in the 3 just in behind. So these guys rolling around here. Another thing to think about right now is fuel. I mean, right now they're about 30 laps, so that's at least 3 pit stops. When the cautions fall, can somebody stretch it, try to make it 2? Can they try to make it 3 with a splash if they need green, white checkers? Well, only time will tell. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in with us on the CSR broadcast channel. Like I said, gonna really, is the audio primary in the right channel for anyone else? Well, I'm not sure. I'm just reading the comment section here, and we'll see. We'll check all of our audio stuff. Looking like it's coming through smooth. So, you let me know there, Zambonic or Zombonic, there in the chat if it corrects itself at any point for you out there. As these guys roll through 3 and 4. We'll probably go right away to the Crank It Up cam. I want to hear these cars get up through the gears as we are getting ready to fire off here this evening. The All-American Cup Series, 94 laps around Talladega Superspeedway. The pace cars off. These guys heading down to the Trialville where they will get to the restart zone and get us fired off. The Gen 4's back on the racetrack here. In the restart zone, 94 laps, All-American Cup Series. The green flag is out, and they are away. Man, these cars sound awesome, but Curtis White from the outside row with Nick Gowan go to the lead here early, moving down in front of that 9 car right now. All is calm out there on the racetrack, but we all know how quickly that can change at Talladega. Get a look at the leader speed going down the back straightaway, and while we do that, let's bring up your full standings here on the left side of the screen so you guys can keep track of all of your favorite drivers. About 187, maybe a blink of 190. They're getting into turns 3 and 4, and really no one pushing too hard just yet. Some of the guys were saying we might see single file action for a little while. These guys just trying to be calm. Like we said, it could be very well be a race of attrition here. And, well, you know what? Tommy's not here, but I'm stealing your line, Tommy, if you're listening. That is Tommy's go-to line here at the super speedways sometimes. Race of attrition is everything is single file up front, but further back we got some 3 wide action. So these guys not really afraid to get up here and mix it up. I think this just might be, though, some guys just falling to the back, some guys wanting to get to the front. So I think some guys are, just making their strategy calls here. As you see the 22 on the inside of the racetrack along with the 42 and 26. A lot of these guys now trying to get single file out, but the 09 of Ken Robnet there in the 09 saw a super strong run out of him at Indianapolis, continuing to work the high side as a good majority of this field has now up front gotten single file. So, as they said, Mike, you see a lot of single file here in this one, and with about 30 laps on the tank, well, that could just be also part of a fuel strategy for some of these guys. Just going to ride the draft, maybe 12th, 13th in line, not use up too much fuel, and try a totally different strategy than the rest of the field. Get a look up front. Just a couple guys trying to make it too wide. Up here is Steven Miles there, your points leader at this point. Riding P16 as the 66 slides in front of him. Definitely something we're going to have to keep an eye on right now, because with the 1 car here now sitting outside the top 15, the guy trying to run him back down in the point standings there, the 3 of Justin Thompson there riding in 4th. So I wish SDK would allow us with these guys using oh boy, what's the name of the website they're using? I'm totally blacking out. But with them using a website, it would be awesome if SDK could finish building in a live points tracker. That would be awesome to also watch those battles as this goes on. Well, everyone right now chasing Curtis White. Back here, we got a little bit of 2 wide. I think that's back here with the 80. Just going to try to let Drew down in line just in front of Lilith. And they do get a look just a little further back here. A lot of the field just single filing it up right now. Everyone's okay with riding. Nobody wants to get into anything just too soon. So Curtis White leads us around the track. Let's go ahead and officially, now that they're all the way up to speed, crank it up. Well, we'll pause on that for just a minute because it looked like some guys stepping out of line up here up front. And it is Casey Carrington there on the high side. He's trying to bring Justin Thompson with him. But right now, looking like nobody wants to go with those two. We'll see just how quickly they begin to fall back. Only 2 guys out there, 184 on the outside. If you're P2, you're 184 coming out of the tri-oval, so a big speed difference here, 187, 189, and then 184 out there on the high side. So if these guys decide to not join them here up there on the high side, these guys could quickly fade, but right now, looking like they're going to receive some of the help that they were looking for. Now, several cars out there on the high groove of the racetrack. About 5 in line right now. We'll see if anybody else wants to go up there and really make it interesting. Dayton Taylor switching that 99 paint scheme up as well. He is in the Pennzoil 99 here this evening. That thing looking sharp going around the racetrack. And Steven Miles, the guy we just said was sitting outside the top 15, now quickly finds himself moving up inside the top 10, nearly top 5 here as they go around. So now the battle for the lead is growing here now that they have received some help. The 3, the 9 against the 63 and 31 up front. The 9 begins to draw even here out of 2. A really good push from Thompson there on the exit of the corner. Casey Carrington absolutely flying down the back straightaway. It is a drag race down the super stretch over 190 here. These Gen 4 cars, they are absolutely moving. I know some of the newer cars, they don't exactly, I should say they go 200 here on these super speedways, but they're a lot more aerodynamic than these old block Gen 4s going around here. So over 190 is an impressive rate of speed for these cars going around the racetrack here. So a couple more guys now feeling comfortable. Everyone's been fairly calm so far. As Lilith Peters is slightly out of line a little bit, but everyone cuts her a break back here in the 01 car. So she was down on the apron for just a second, but got that car pointed back the right direction. Get some looks on board. You see how these cars, they look like they're bobbing and weaving, and boy, I tell you, they probably are. These cars punch such a big hole in the draft. You see it here, just the sway of these guys as they go around, really getting after it here. Get a great look at the drivers right now on board with your current points leader as he goes around Talladega. Well, while we were looking at some of the onboards here, Mr. Mullins has put himself to the front. The 9 and company slid it down in front of the 31, and the 64 tagged along with them. Now Mullins to the lead here, coming down to complete lap 10 here from Talladega. All has been pretty tame so far, but that outside lane definitely starting to grow strength out there. Looking like the side draft really isn't as big of a factor in these Gen 4 cars, but definitely still seeing a little bit, seeing some of these guys moving around. I think right now they're just trying not to get too aggressive with that side draft or even trying to attempt it. Looking like some of these cars are really just wiggling around out here as Dayton Taylor begins a run down the back straightaway now, looking to take the lead heading into 3 and 4. You got Miles pushing strong. The 99 almost clear, but not quite. That bottom groove comes flying back there on the inside. Some great racing from the All-American Cup Series here as they come out of turn 4. Dayton Taylor trying to take the lead from Michael Mullins right now. Still door to door through the tri-oval. Dayton with a very strong run last week at Dover. No, he wants to get back to victory lane here for the All-American Cup Series. So a strong showing early. I think the 1 car is, the 1 may have gotten that car too hot, trying to push the 99 by, quickly steps out of line. So he is going to lose some significant ground, being the 2nd car on the outside. So he's going to fall just about out of 20th now. It's a lot of guys moving around up here in the front of this one. They all get it sorted out for now. So a lot of movement there. As it went down the back straightaway, it looked like the 3 was under the yellow line, trying to avoid maybe just a push gone wrong. So Dayton Taylor now still trying to battle back, but Mullins continues the lead here from Talladega. Dayton Taylor now with a huge push down the back straightaway, going to clear them. Actually had a 2, gain some momentum and leave that inside line out there. So now the 99 rockets his way to the lead. Gonna go ahead and try to score himself some laps led here. Trying to get some bonus points, but Drew making a big move there in that 80 car. I think his numbers are backwards. He scored as the 80, but looking like when you're looking at it, see if we get another angle of it. But looking like, okay, so I believe the numbers, are they backwards? On the right side of that car, did somebody forget to flip those around? You guys let me know if I'm crazy. I guess that's right. I've never thought of that before. I believe they're backwards. If I'm not mistaken, it's supposed to be the other way around, but nonetheless, a big power move there for Drew. Got that car to the bottom of the racetrack, but Dayton Taylor still strong on the outside. Looking like even when he was clear, he wasn't exactly very keen on going down the bottom. So Connor LaFrance now in the 5. Well, Dayton, as soon as I say that, you go ahead and make a liar out of me. Now moving to the bottom of the racetrack. So Connor LaFrance gets him clear of Drew on the inside. But now LaFrance has a big run here with the 18 of Josh Dillon just in behind. And Lilith Peters starting to show strength. So a lot of the guys that we expected to be up towards the front if this was a speedway, now showing strength as well, versatility here on the super speedways, like Lilith Peters, Casey, Jared, Dayton Taylor, Curtis White, and guys continuing their strong runs. The 5 of LaFrance goes to the lead right now, slides down the racetrack, but comes back up, working both lanes of traffic right now, as they say here. Another guy that we haven't got to talk about too much over the last couple of weeks, Daniel Giroux here in the 92, having himself a nice race, sitting inside the top 5 right now. Do you want to keep up? Looking like Lilith Peters. She is the biggest mover of the race right now, up 18 spots. Well, she's tied here. Well, now Lucas there in the 26 is going to take that top. And they're tied again. Lilith Peters has gone to the lead, so Lucas and Lilith up 19 spots from their starting position, so they are finding their ways from the back to the front early. As you're going to see a lot of these guys, they use the high side to get around, and then they're quickly dropping to the bottom. I think they're just scared of getting cycled back too far, but if you keep waiting there on the inside, you might find yourself in the back here, like Curtis White now sitting outside the top 10. In P13, he has kept the car on the bottom of the racetrack since he's got there, and he is just kind of pinned down there right now. Giroux now rockets to the lead here on the inside. Josh Dillon followed him down to the bottom of the racetrack. Going to get his car a little upset there. 18 going to wash up the hill, but they're all going to hang on to it. Getting a look a little further back. We'll get back here at Aaron Warren. These guys really mixing it up back here. They are a little ways off the... Oh, somebody in the back wall. I believe that's going to be... It's another Jimmy Johnson looking paint scheme that just went out there and tagged the wall. Couldn't quite tell. These guys are really racing it up back here. That's going to be the 68 of Jake Hare? Maybe Hare. He got really out of shape there in that Lowe's Chevrolet. Looking like he did tag the wall. Looking like it's more like a 2002-ish Jimmy Johnson paint scheme there in the 68, but no, he's all good. Oh, we got Garrett Johnson, I believe, has gone around. Stephen Miles might be in it as well. So we may have had a large wreck. As soon as we take our eyes off the front for the first time in the race, got a couple guys going around. So let's go ahead and bring up your CSR instant replay. Let's figure out what happened. It may have caught it mid-wreck here. We'll go ahead and put it live here. Oh, somebody, the 92. Oh, so the leader of the race. Looking like he may have got spun, and then somebody's going to absolutely destroy. 17's going to destroy him a barrel. So we're going to rewind here. We'll try to get a look at the 92. This is probably going to finish his race off. So right as he was having a good race, we said Daniel Giroux's having a good race. This happens for the driver on the 92. Just going to get a push here in the tri-oval. 18 just trying to, oh man. And then the 17, oh, the 17's going to go for an absolute ride. So the 92, I believe the 18 was just trying to tuck back in line with the driver of the 92 there. and just turns him hard into the outside wall here. Get another couple looks at this one here. Get a look on board with the driver of the 18 machine. I believe he has maybe brought that car down pit road. Having a hard time finding him here, but you're going to see him just slide out just a little bit here in the tri-oval. Just maybe over the bumps. I don't know if he's indecisive or not, and then he's just trying to turn in behind him there. Really not much movement out of the 18, so it's going to be hard to tell. And then you're going to have James Silver here just come in and just hang on. Never good when you're looking up at the sky at Talladega. So our first caution of the night is going to take two guys out. Don't believe anybody else has got caught up in that one. So now a lot of the leaders on pit road here this evening. Oh, Casey Condon also has some right front damage on the nose of the 9 car there as well. So Dayton Taylor looked like he might win the race off of pit road. We did have a couple guys, I believe, stay out on this one. Let me just double check. No, okay, the entire field made their way down pit road this time. So once again, don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, you can go ahead and crank up the quality to the Ultra HD out there on YouTube land and get a look at that one. We'll see if we can find, well, we do have Mr. Silvers here in chat. We'll see if we can get a word with him real quick. James, is Craig up in the booth? You got a moment?
Yeah, what's going on, buddy?
What's going on? Well, it seemed like it was all calm, and then out of the outside wall, you just get absolutely crushed.
Yeah, I was just trying to sit back and doing what I usually do in most restrictor plate races. I usually just hang towards the back and then try to work my way up towards the end of the race and avoid all the wrecks. And for some reason in this league, though, and we were just talking about it, and I think it's a terrible circumstance, but the last 6 races, if you go back and check them, this is what's crazy. The last 6 races in this league, in the restrictor plate races, the Daytona and Talladega, me and Casey have been involved in the first caution.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, I've not caught a break on one of these tracks. And this league, at least, I've not caught a break in a while, so.
Yeah, I mean, just innocent bystander. He comes rocketing off the wall. Were you kind of surprised at how fast his car ricocheted off the outside wall?
Yeah, well, they told me up in front of me, they said that there was one wrecking, and then they said he was bouncing off the wall. But by the time I seen him bouncing off the wall, I was right in the middle of the track, and I was trying to come down and I try to slow down, but I clipped him, and just enough to clip him. And when I did, I went for a ride. So
yeah, you're gonna have a headache after that barrel roll. I appreciate you letting us check in with you. Hopefully you might be able to get out there and salvage some points, but I think you're gonna be sitting on pit road for a while.
Well, I was going to try to get back on the track, but I pulled in the box, and they said it was too much damage. So,
yeah,
I guess I'm done for the night. So.
Your streak continues at the super speedways. Well, hopefully next week at Kansas it'll turn around for you.
Yeah, I hope to God it does. I hope so. But maybe we'll get some cornerstone cars up here in the front. Maybe one of them will win this race.
All right. Well, thanks for letting us chat with you, buddy.
All right. Thank you, buddy.
So a disappointing really a start to this race. He didn't, we're maybe 20 or so laps into this one before our first caution, which honestly I was kind of expecting when they got side by side to maybe see one a little bit earlier. But, these guys really have put on some incredible racing. So not surprising really to see these guys keep it for as green as they did, as long as they did. But unfortunate there for Giroux and Silvers there getting caught up. With that being the leader getting turned into the outside wall like that could have been disastrous. I could have seen a lot of cars get caught up in that, but a lot of guys immediately jump to the brakes and avoid that. Just what could have been really ugly. So the big one's still a possibility to strike here in this one. So the All-American Cup Series. Make sure you check out their Discord as well. They are also on Facebook. They're pretty active Discord. A lot of guys well over 2, 3, and 5K I ratings here. So if you're looking for that next step up, that little bit more competition here without needing to go into the official races and ruin that I rating, make sure you check out the All-American Cup Series. Well, out front, a name we're starting to get very familiar with. Lilith Peters lead us back to green to complete lap 20 of 94 from Talladega. Well, I don't know what just happened there, but everyone disappeared for a hot second. So, but luckily we're back. We didn't lose any connection to these guys. But now Connor LaFrance using the outside of the racetrack, going to rocket himself to the lead. And Lucas Strayer also looking like he is going to be strong in this one. Saw him with a pretty solid run at Indianapolis earlier this season. Now looking to assume the lead from that outside road. Still a little surprised the amount of guys using the outside lane and abandoning it, going to the bottom, which it seems like after a lap or two they start to fall backwards on the inside. So going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. But we were talking about him earlier. This 16, last week's winner of Christopher Heller Jr., now also finding his way to the front in this one. Lucas Strayer is up 25 spots right now, the biggest mover of this one here. Another guy we haven't talked about too much, the 45 car of Austin Bloom back there. I believe he is going to be in the Bojangles. Yeah, the Bojangles machine. He's up 16 spots while riding P26, so a strong start of the race for him. Just biding his time right there, just keeping that lead pack in view, but not getting too close to get that car destroyed. The Mike and Ike machine giving a great push to Strayer off at 2, trying to get him out there in the lead. As you see, Little Peters all over the back bumper of LaFrance, but the 26 clears and drops down in front of LaFrance. Now Thomas Stokes in the 66. Again, I heard one around. Maybe that was just a car bottoming out. Thought we may have had one there, but all is good. But right now, these guys just ripping through these corners here. Looking like Thomas Stokes is trying to take the lead from Strayer as they head into the tri-oval. Oh, the 66 out of shape there from Heller with push, but what a great job to hang on to that thing. That could have been huge right there. So an absolutely fantastic save from Stokes right there. Getting, I think Walker McManus may have gone off track, maybe just down pit road, or excuse me, McGantley. Yeah, he's coming down pit road there. Not sure. He's got some left front damage, so maybe that is the sounds we hear, but we'll quickly get a look back up front. Still cannot believe the 66 car did not go right. Oh, the 31s, they got to be out of shape, and there they go. There's another wreck here. This may get a couple more. The 31 hard around, but looking like somehow, some way, the rest of the field is going to avoid the 31. So these guys, once again, doing a fantastic job of not wadding more cars up in this one. So let's go ahead, get a CSR instant replay. It's starting out there on that outside row. Get a better look at it here as they go down the back straightaway. I think he's just going to get a push from Thompson. Might get his car a little upset. I think it's going to turn him towards the outside wall. They get a huge run here on the 66. He's got a, they just step in the line. I think the 3 just a little out of shape too. Try to follow him. That's the last thing you need if you are the points leader. And the 31 just going to go for a crazy ride here. I still cannot believe the amount of guys like the 50s getting jacked up by the 6 there. They hang out to the 53. A stellar job of not slamming into these guys here. Excuse me, I have Gowan going around. So let's go ahead. Let's dial her up one more time. I want to get a look at the, some of these guys' views, like Cody Anderson as he gets his way through this one. Let's get a look on board. See how close this really was. Oh, you saw it. You saw the pucker factor there. He started to turn down the inside. He still had a car there as well, so couldn't go too far, but a great job missing that one. So let's get back live here for you guys this evening. The 31's car in some rough shape. That thing is going to need some dire repairs on that car as the 26 continues to lead us around here. This is where strategy is going to come into effect here a little bit. If you pit now, you can get back to maybe your original pit strategy, but don't know if you want to really give that up just yet. You know, you just came to pit road not many laps ago, so can't imagine you'll see too many of these guys. Looking like Thompson will commit to going down pit road, as well as Stephen Miles, so I believe these are going to be your only two takers. Maybe Hutton, yeah, Hutton in the 50, who also had a strong run going at Dover, Heller Jr. So, yeah, so now towards the back of the pack, we got some more of these guys making their way on the pit road. Our cameras just love just randomly switching on us here. So, yeah, got a easy 24 guys on pit road right now, looking like some of them with just some damage repair. And, you know, some of these guys maybe just trying to get back on that original pit strategy, just trying to keep as much fuel in these things as we can. Got another notification. Is somebody going around here? Just give a quick look. The 68 might have just stopped on track. Yeah, not seeing anything going wrong with Jake here. So, okay. So we just had some blinking. That's all it was for the driver of the 68. All is well there. So let's see if anybody else is going around here. Let's see if we can dial up. Well, let's see if we can get the other party who was involved in the first one here this evening. Oh, do we get him? Did we get him? I don't believe. I think it's there we go. Maybe. Daniel, it's Craig up at the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I do.
Well, tough break there from the lead. What went wrong there?
So I was working with one of the guys in my chat, Josh, and from what he said, he hit a bump on the track and it just shot him up the track, and he came back down, and it was a little too late. It really sucks, but nothing you can do.
Yeah, is that just something you just chalk up kind of to the super speedway style of the iRacing? Just kind of you know, it's all going well, and in a blink of an eye, it's just all going wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I like to consider super speedways. I like to consider these my biggest strength in iRacing. So it does suck when I get wrecked out of one of these. But that's just the name of the game. Like, you come to these things expecting it's almost like a coin toss. You come to it expecting to get killed or expecting to win, and there's really no in between.
Yeah, you never know. You just hope and pray for maybe 94 laps, and if you finish, you're going for the win. And you know, if you know, when you get wrecked, you're disappointed, but you kind of know it's part of it. Well, appreciate you letting us get a chat in with you. I know it's a tough break for you, but you were looking good early.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
So Daniel Giroux there of the 98. Yeah, you hear the disappointment. He's saying it's one of his better tracks on the iRacing program here, and yeah, he was strong early, so you can definitely tell why, you know, it's such a heartbreak for him. You know, got that car up front, and just one of his teammates. I have noticed that if you're familiar with Talladega, or maybe if you are not, that front curve that we like to call there, the dog leg, or there's a bunch of different names, the tri-oval. If you're on the very bottom of that track, in that very bottom groove, it's a little bit flatter than the upper grooves, and if you kind of straddle that, there is a bump there. A lot of guys, you'll see tonight, will try to keep the right rear kind of up into the second lane to help point the nose, but if you miss it, there is a bump, and I kind of had a feeling that might be what it was. Hit that bump, so the 18 hits that bump, washes up the hill just a little bit. He's just trying to get back into line with one of the guys he's been working with, and unfortunately just turns the 92 hard into the outside wall, and that is his race for this evening. Well, we still have a long way to go in this one. It's still just as impressed here at the second wreck that more guys were not involved as it happened right up in the front. Normally at Talladega, you'd see about 20 of these guys destroyed right now. Just a couple out of this one, as Lucas Strayer is going to lead us back to green here for the All-American Cup Series. Let's go ahead and crank it up. Absolutely love the sound of these cars, man. They just sound so good. Now Connor LaFrance has kept that car up front here for a little while in this one. Get a look at lap sled. As soon as I say that, the 66 comes flying back there on the outside. 5-lap sled there for LaFrance, but Stokes now. We saw the big slide out of him earlier up there on the high side of the racetrack, but a great job saving that car. That, again, another should have been a multi-car accident, but keeps that car out of trouble. And our good buddy here, Craig Martin, there in the 22 machine after it. He's up front. Like we said, one of the guys that maybe not the strongest on the road courses and whatnot, but we know that Craig is pretty good here on the super speedways. So, you know, for once, kind of making me look like I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, but I don't claim to be the smartest guy in the world, but sometimes, you know, a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and again. But Craig Martin now inside the top 10, looking to get here just inside the top 5 with the pass on the 26. It will put him there. So want to get your guys' thoughts here in the chat, as well as Thomas Stokes now clears for the lead with Curtis Martin pushing, or excuse me, Curtis White pushing hard there. What are you guys kind of expecting? Are we going to see some more of this 2x2, guys? Maybe trying to hold that high line, maybe the third lane. When does that come into play? How many times or how many guys are going to get up there and kind of give that a try? As, oh, the 22, they're going to stack up just a little bit. All is okay, though. 22 and everyone gives each other a little bit of room. No accordion effect on that. But how early do you think you might see some guys get up there and try the third line? You know, at what point do you start testing things for some of the guys that are just kind of hanging around the back, not wanting to get involved right now, like Miles and Melnick here? in the 19, Steve Melnick, we know Melnick. They're going around, you know, or Christopher Heller, last week's winner. Is there a point where you just try to see, you know, how fast can I get to the front if I use the third lane? It's got a big check up there with the 57 in company just in front. I believe it's going to be Hall. Yeah, all is okay for now. Three, almost 4 wide here with Hutton and company. They'll get it sorted out quickly. But, you know, when do you start trying things on the racetrack? Going to the back, going to the front, seeing how long it takes you to get there, what works and what doesn't. Gotta imagine you'll see a little bit of that probably in the lap 40 to 50 range. Just trying to, guys, maybe get some positions out there on the racetrack. Now LaFrance back to the high side. Dayton Taylor on the outside, just behind LaFrance. Some of the names we're starting to get very familiar with, continuing to show strength here as LaFrance gets back to the lead, heading into 3 and 4. So LaFrance now with Dayton back down to the bottom of the racetrack with Thomas Stokes and Curtis White in tow there. Ken Robnett there in the 09 machine, making his way inside the top 5 as Lucas Strayer starting to fall back there a little bit as Craig Martin's going to try to go ahead and lead that outside run there with Jacob Alicia up there. We don't pretend to be professional. We try to do the best we can. We're just rookie. I'm just a rookie. And the 7 machine starting to show some strength as well. He's up almost 20 spots out here on the racetrack. So some of the guys maybe that were riding around the back, like the 53 Cody Anderson after dodging that wreck, now trying to see how long it might take them to get there. They're part of super speedway racing, like you said. You know, we heard out of the 92. You know, you want to race for the win, but you know the wrecks are coming. You know, and when they do, can you make it through it? And what can you do to get yourself in position to keep yourself out of it? I think now you're starting to see some of the guys that were being cautious riding the back. Oh, the 7's going to get very arrow loose in the middle of the corner, but he hangs out of it. Good move there. 53 trying to cut him some slack, but himself not got run over there. So now the front group starting to get single file once again. Lilith Peters right there as well. Hugsby in the mix. Is trying to see, I believe that's going to be the 06 of Chris Worrell there, yeah, and the old Irwin Fastenal, kind of the 60, I believe Carl Edwards and Biffle ran, so maybe a tribute to them, but he's also got Irwin like the old Kurt Busch car, but Fastenal like the old Carl Edwards Xfinity car, excuse me, the O'Reilly, whatever will be next year. So that's an interesting combination, but the car looks good right now. And got himself just outside the top 20, has kept that car out of trouble. I believe that is one of his teammates right around him as well as Casey Carrington, unfortunately. Looking like that damage gonna play a big factor here. Looking like it is for the most part fixed, but now gonna find himself 1, possibly 2 laps. No, he is just 1 lap down now. Still some right front damage. Looking like that car still might be struggling to keep speed here. So again, another guy up there in the points that could change a lot of things out there on the racetrack. LaFrance continuing to lead out here. Still 2 by 2 throughout this pack right now. So maybe the second groove is starting to become a little bit longer of a train. So some of these guys, we were seeing about 5 or 6. Now it's about 8 or 9 cars up on the high side being led by Lilith Peters out there. So maybe some guys. Oh, we got one around in the back somewhere. As these guys really trying to spread out. I believe, is it Ivan Silva? I believe. Oh, Ian Silva, I think, has gone around. So let's go ahead and get a look back to see what happened to Sylvia here. Ooh, 14 and the 51 just looking for the same real estate on the racetrack. Goes for a slide, but no worse for wear there. Going into 3, it's a tough spot to not find yourself really destroying that race car. So the 14's just going to try to, the 14's just going to slide up, maybe misjudge where the nose of that car is. Good job locking it down there for Silva and not hitting anything, not getting that car tore up. So he should be able to go through the rest of this race with no issues whatsoever. So get a live look back up front. LaFrance is still out there. Now for the guys who didn't pit that last time around, let's get a look here at some pit length. So about 20 laps. They went 18 the first time. You had some guys on pit road about 7 laps ago or so under the last caution. So it'll be interesting. I got to imagine you'll see a lot of these guys on pit road with kind of maxing out around somewhere around 30 laps. Take the opportunity now to pit under caution instead of maybe this is where you get a long green flag run and hurt themselves later in the race. But for the guys who pitted 7 laps ago, it's going to be a tough call. You know, if you get that green flag run, pitting under green is really going to hurt. So I know probably a lot of them were hoping for a little bit longer of a run and cycle to the front, maybe get that caution. But right now, only 7 laps difference. It's going to be very tough for them to stay out on the racetrack almost halfway through the fuel run. So we'll have to keep an eye on who, in fact, comes down pit lane. Looking like LaFrance might lead them down here. A good majority of the leaders not looking like really anyone's going to stay out here on the racetrack. So this caution will drag almost the entire field here. Yeah, no one stays on the racetrack. So the entire field on pit road this time. Looking like some guys maybe just grabbing some wave rounds, but right now, this caution, I think, going to change the dynamic for a lot of guys. Looking like left side tires going up on Curtis White's machine there. The 5 of LaFrance going to win the race off of pit road there. So tires becoming in the equation as well. It's not often you see guys opting for the left side tires. You see the rest of the race off of pit road here. We'll try to get a word with one of these drivers here and get their thoughts maybe around the handle of these cars. Here, as we're seeing a lot of guys opting for tires. Let's see if we can find. Where are you hiding at, Mister? We're going to try to get Curtis White, but let's bring in a new guy here. A guy we haven't had a chance to interview just yet. Try to get him up here if Discord wants to work with us. One of the RPM drivers. We'll try to get him up in here. There we go. We got him in here. Michael Mullins, it's Craig up at the booth. How's it going, bud?
Not gonna lie, I wasn't expecting a booth call running 30th, but doing well, man. How are you guys doing?
We're doing all right. Just me up here tonight, but you had that car up there for a little bit. What are your thoughts on the race so far? Things are kind of played out a little bit different than I would say we normally see here at a super speedway race.
No, qualifying went well. The race started good. There was a restart there where I was hoping to get connected with a couple of teammates of mine, and unfortunately, the communication went the wrong way. So it ended up me getting stuck out of line, and I went from 9th to 30th pretty quickly. So, I feel confident. I feel I know what I'm doing. I feel like most of the field is running pretty well and pretty smart. The only accidents we've had so far are a couple of 1 and 2 car incidents. So that's as lucky as you can get as far as racing here goes.
Yeah, especially with a couple of them starting up front. Very surprising we didn't wad more of them up in it.
No, absolutely. But no, I have to find a way back. So it'll be a challenge, sure, but I'll find a way to make it work.
Well, I have a couple questions for you. Seeing some guys opting for tires, which is somewhat unusual under the cautions here. Is grip becoming a little bit of an issue out there? I've seen these cars; they're definitely moving around in the air a lot. Is that increasing maybe some lack of grip out there?
No, I haven't noticed any issues with tire wear. I took rights on the first stop, and I took 0 gas only just now, but I took gas only trying to leapfrog a couple of people in the pit lane, some free spots, so. No, I don't really think grip's an issue. The cars are planted, the pushes are stable. The only times I think we're really seeing issues is when people are getting offset on the bumper,
Yes.
and people are just getting hooked that way. But no, honestly, the biggest issue that we're facing back here is just staying connected with the draft. Can't say tires are an issue, really.
All right. Well, hopefully we get to see you back up front before the end of this. I'll get you back down to your team before you get back under the green. So maybe the bad communications issues are out of the way for the second half of this one.
Yeah, we got to figure it out. So, hey, I appreciate it. I hope everyone enjoys.
Appreciate you letting us get a word in with you.
All right, no problem.
So, Mr. Mullins there of the RPM racing team down there. So, appreciate these guys. Once again, appreciate these guys for letting us get a word in with them while they're under the yellow flag. Some of them, sometimes, they don't want to be bothered. Completely understand it. You're trying to get your strategy back, especially for a guy who had that car up front in the lead for a little while in this one. So, like you said, had some communication errors. Quickly, he fell to the back. Now, just trying to figure out a way to get back there. So, gotta imagine, barring any large incidents on track, we'll see that 64 car making its way back to the front. But right now, it's starting to turn into a LaFrance show out here in the Tony the Tiger 5 machine as we get ready to go back under green for the All-American Cup Series. Rolling out of turn 2 to the super stretch. Another, oh, there they go. They're going to go around this time. This is going to get quite a few of them. Couple cars with some huge shots here. Oh no, I think maybe Thompson. No, Thompson gets through, so it's going to be even further back. Couple guys may have already got themselves down pit road, so couple guys going around. I'm having a hard time finding them. I wonder if they just immediately towed in this one. We saw the 09 get a little out of shape from, I believe that was a second row on the inside. So let's go ahead. Let's dial up the replay in this one. Oh, this is going to be the caution before here. So, going to be tough to find here, but we will find them. So we scroll through all of our notifications here because how quickly all things went sour out there on the racetrack. Yellow flag was thrown, but having SDKs claiming that no one went around, which, we know that to be very untrue. So somewhere around the 66 and the 09 here. So we're going to have to manually do this because it does not want to play nice with us here this evening, or at least under this one here. Coming out of turn 2. Looking like maybe just a little bit of a stack up on the inside. The 9's going to jump out of line just a little bit. I think he's going to slide back in, and then the 66 checks up. Believe he's going to get a bump there from the 1. He's just trying to let the 09 back in. It's going to be a hard shot out here. Dayton Taylor somehow gets a little bit of damage, but should have got a lot more. And some of these guys stack up. The 53 almost airborne. The 66 is around the 53, gets a little bit of damage. So once again, a lot of these guys making it through these wrecks that really should have been destroyed. Let's go ahead and we'll dial it back up one more time. We'll get a look here a little further back from the 19's point of view here. I mean, we should have a lot more tore up race cars, but right now only 3 suffering damage. I believe maybe only the 20 is really going to suffer some significant damage out of that one. Trying to find him in our running order. I think he is still going around. 53 as well. He took a pretty good shot here. I'm going to watch him almost come off the ground. So, an impact to the outside wall. Can't tell if the right front is broken or if he's just really got cosmetic damage to the nose of the 53. Once again, just impressed. These guys immediately jumping on the brakes here and, just keeping themselves out of danger for the most part. I mean, again, these should be multi-car accidents, and they are not. Get a look here at the 20 on here. This big shot. So the 20, I think, unfortunately, is going to suffer the most damage. That very well may be his evening on the racetrack for Trevor McLaughlin there, because that's a big shot, you know. And when you're going around, we'll get a look on board with him here. I mean, you don't even know what's coming. I mean, before you know it, that car's destroyed. So once again, an unfortunate break for some of these guys out here on the racetrack. Starting to, we're under our 4th caution with a lot of guys just kind of these 1- and 2-car wrecks. Still a lot can happen in this one. Still a ton of cars out there on the racetrack. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I saw somebody, I believe the 09 is on pit road. That car doesn't look too bad either. The 53, yeah, looking like just some really cosmetic looks for him. The 20 is unfortunately, yeah, that car probably will not continue. I think Casey Carrington is continuing to try to repair that car. Looking at the 13, he's quite a few laps down. Not sure. We saw him go down pit road earlier in the race. Not sure if he had a penalty to serve, where he got himself a couple laps down there in the 13 machines. Thomas Stokes was having himself a good race, but again, car looks pretty decent for a guy who's just involved in a wreck at Talladega. So I guess if you're going to get caught up in a wreck, that is the way to go. That is the guy I was thinking of there. 31 and Nick Gowan. That car looks clean. And if I'm looking right, somehow he's still on the lead lap. I could have sworn Nick went around and took a pretty good shot earlier, but I could be very wrong. Well, Curtis White now back to lead Curtis LaFrance on the outside. Dayton Taylor P3. So, so now maybe the intensity's starting to ramp up a little bit. You're still seeing a lot of give before a lot of take. I think some guys trying to cut each other brakes, but, when you're in the cockpit of these cars, you're the second, third car in line, it's really hard to see what happened, what's going on in front of you here. You get a look here. I mean, if you're right up to the back bumper of the guy in front of you, or lady in front of you, it's tough to see what happened several rows back. Right now we're under yellow, so obviously they're going to be a little bit more spread out, but we'll get at some looks when they get back on the bumper of these guys as we get ready to go back green from Talladega. So as we go around, I'm just trying to look through some of the teams here. You got Warren Brothers, you got Aaron and company. Oh, we're getting all kinds of things popping up on us out of nowhere. Aaron Warren, Jacob Alicia, Jake Harrer, and John. Oh, John, I'm not even going to attempt to destroy your last name. You're going to have to tell me how to say that one. I don't want to do you. I don't want to do you dirty. We'll have to get a word with Trevor there in the 20, who took that hard shot there on this last caution here. We'll try to catch up with him. We try to catch up with as many guys as we can. Try to get familiar with these guys. Another thing we don't forget about is we had a huge shift in the points last week. Right now, with the way they run, you have Stephen Miles back there in 8th.
Green flag.
The 3 not too far behind him as they're back to green here for the All-American Cup Series. Side by side, the 99 and the 63 starting to stretch their legs here a little bit. Like we said, when we went back under green, we wanted to show you how tough. Now imagine this being all the way back here. I don't know. Let's go to Chris Worrell. So if something's happening in the front, you're not seeing it. And he's leaving a little bit of room to the guys in front of him here, along with Melnick. So, as we go through this field, try to get some guys, right now, everyone in the back is being a little bit more patient. They're keeping some space in between their cars out here. But right here, great shot from Lilith. I mean, You have no idea what's going to happen there. That's Curtis White. That's your leader all the way on the inside row. That little bit of orange you can see, and that's through the corner. If you're heading down the back straightaway, it's going to be tough to see if anything happens to the leader. So the super speedway racing brings a whole nother dynamic, and you have to trust your fellow competitor quite a bit out here as that outside lane gets a big run going down the back straightaway. LaFrance pulls even as they head into 3 and 4. The bottom side of Curtis White, though, going to pull ahead for just a little bit, but LaFrance down on the door, maybe trying to get the side draft going just a little bit. Dead even out of 4, but now the 7 with a good push to LaFrance. What does LaFrance do if he can clear? Well, it doesn't matter right now. Curtis White going to continue to hang on to the lead. Dayton Taylor pushing on the inside. Lap 47 complete of 94, so we are halfway in this one. If my math is mathing, you tell me if I'm wrong. Make sure I'm just trying to keep up with everything here. James Smith, appreciate you in the comment section. You're the best, brother. Miss you guys. Hope to catch up with you guys tomorrow night at the S&M series. That is always fun. Yeah, usually hear from Daytona or Talladega, but up here in the back, it's starting to get hairy. The 0-2, the 3 of Justin Thompson. Now it's that third lane trying to get going here. I think some of these guys might be in their trial period. Somewhere we said between that 40 and 50 mark. They got to find a way somehow to see if they can get that high side working. Right now, Thompson leading the march there on the outside of the racetrack. So that outside lane's starting to make a little progress. I think it's going to be tough from where they are. Oh, we got another one around in the back. This guy's doing a good job giving room to everybody as they check up here. Try to get a look to see what happened here on the racetrack just out of our point of view. Oh. Boy. Tough break here. One of the guys we just saw there on the outside, he was working with his teammate. The 72 is going to jump up in front of the 3 here. I think it's going to stack up this line a little bit. Yeah, he's going to get out of shape. The 2's trying not to run his teammate over. And then the 12, you know, I don't want to say didn't really cut him a break. But, yeah, oh, now the 53 takes a hard shot. The 18 is going to take a hard shot in this one. So, yeah, that's tough. That's tough if you're Zachary. They're tough if that's the 53 of Cody Anderson here. He's got to, I mean, let's just look at this still shot right here. He's going to get absolutely packed from the 14 machine of Brad Delph right here. Get a better look at it here. It's just going to happen in front of him. He thinks he's clear on the bottom. Then he jumps on the brake in a panic, and then boom. Oh, the 48 going to take some significant damage. And somehow the car repaired itself. So maybe our racing gods on the side of that 48 machine there, but I believe that will be the night for Cody Anderson. That thing has suffered some significant damage here. So you saw what happened. Let's back it up here a little bit. The 72 going to go from the middle and up, and then, well, I guess he's up. I think he goes, oh, he just gets loose on quarter entry. So pardon me, I don't want to cast blame on anybody. And then the 12, just maybe not expecting that. I can't tell who that is on the outside. That's the 14, okay, with its hood up. 53 almost made a quick stage left exit there. Almost went down the pit road. So now some of these guys, we're starting to see some more of those multi-car accidents here, Brad. As well, you're going to see, yeah, that car is just destroyed. The right front just completely off. He has like no control over that car. Trying to get it on the brakes. Think he is just going to have to stop and tow because that car will not turn. So get a live look back up front. A lot of fake outs heading to pit road, but not many takers this time. Some guys are Melnick on. Jared Hutton is on here. Look like Justin Thompson is also coming down, as well as the rest of the back of the pack. So some of these guys maybe now just trying to, oh, the 12 almost gets turned off the nose of the 31. So maybe now some of these guys just trying to get off sequence of the guys up front here to see what they can do, kind of put themselves maybe in a better position here for the end of the race. Maybe hoping for a long green flag run where maybe they can cycle ahead of some of these guys and not really need to pass them on the racetrack. Try to use some pit strategy to get up there. But something tells me the intensity level is going to continue to pick up, and we might see some more of these multi-car accidents. I do want to try to get a word if we have a second. I would like to bring in Connor LaFrance. Connor, it's Craig up at the booth. How's it going?
Good.
Well, you've had that car up front. You've kind of been the only guy that's kind of kept that thing up there. Noticing a lot of guys using the high side of the racetrack to make the pass and then move to the bottom to defend. It seems like your car is kind of the only one right now who has used the high side and went to the bottom and has been able to keep it there. What's the... don't tell us all your secrets. What's the secret here?
I mean, a little bit is it's the bubble, kind of. I mean, it's really hard to generate a run to really get something, but if you can get at least a little bit off of 2 and get a little side draft, you can make something happen.
Yeah, so I was talking about that earlier on the broadcast. These cars are not as easy to get that side draft as, say, the Gen 6 car, or if you have the properly set up Gen 7 car out here on the track. I was noticing you were starting to crowd that bottom lane a little bit. Are you noticing now, as the aggression is starting to pick up a little bit, that you might see some more of the guys really laying on guys' doors on that outside lane and maybe even the third lane coming in?
I'm sure we'll see third lane probably be introduced with 10 to go, but I'm definitely looking for the middle lane to be used a lot here. But definitely going back to the bottom is going to be the game plan, though.
All right, well, 14 laps led. I believe you are maybe close. I think Curtis might be closing in on you, but I think you have kept that car up front. We'll keep an eye out for you. Hopefully we're talking to you at the end of this thing.
Thank you, sir.
So another cornerstone driver there on the racetrack. I'll bring in, as we're getting ready to go green, believe he is... It might be his evening is done. Get a look. No, Cody Anderson's still going around, so somehow that car's still under power, so we won't bother him just yet. We'll let him keep going out there on the racetrack. Or wanted to get a word with him because he did a great job missing that first wreck, and unfortunately this last wreck, there was just nowhere for him to go. Looking like Melnick running the bottom there. Maybe already some fuel conservation for your current points leader. Yeah, you hear it there. Clutch is pushed in. Sounds like he might actually have that car off. Right there. Clutch back out. So, fuel already on the mind of the points leader. So, we did see a lot of guys faking out, going, showing that they might go to pit road, and kept it out there on the racetrack. So, Melnick already thinking about fuel here in this one. Maybe he has a mark or a lap in mind for that one car where he wants to make his final pit stop of the race. So it'll be interesting to see how that's kind of all playing out in this one as well. Sometimes it's not all about how many cars you can pass on the racetrack. Sometimes strategy will allow you to head to victory lane here on the super speedways. We saw that with the MOTD series not too terribly long ago, where we had, I think 4 or 5 of the leaders ran out of fuel with 3 laps to go. Guys who were taking the white flag while the leader was out of fuel on the apron of 3 and 4 had no idea they were racing for the win. They come back in just pure shock when it said that where they finished in this race. But tonight for the All-American Cup Series, guys thinking about fuel already, as Curtis White's going to lead us back to green here from Talladega.
Green, green, green.
Get a real good look at the front bumper of Dayton Taylor here from the rear cam of Connor LaFrance as now, getting a good look at LaFrance from the rear bumper of the 99 car as he tries to take the lead through turns 3 and 4. Got that thing wound up there on the high side with a good push, but right now the bottom side, as you heard LaFrance say, the bottom I think is where he wants to be if he has the option. He says he wants to make the middle work to get there. He's done a great job of keeping that car and using that middle lane to get there, and then one of the few who have used this line right here and then use the bottom of the racetrack to kind of hold guys back. But now Craig Martin getting in behind LaFrance here, trying to cycle himself up to the lead, as it seems like the too wide is starting to be more aggressive here. Starting to see some more push. Looks like Lilith Peters giving a double push there to the 22. Got to be careful with that. Make sure those cars are lined up. Otherwise, chaos could very well meet these guys here in the corner. But right now, Craig Martin doing a good job getting LaFrance just edging out Dayton Taylor here out of turn 4 here. See if they can keep their momentum up. See them trying to run a little bit higher to get away from any type of side draft in the inside lane. And one of the guys we talked about earlier, Austin Bloom, up 36 spots on the racetrack in that 45 car, doing a great job. Now up 37, scores himself inside the top 5. Craig Martin now moves down with LaFrance there. So the 5 back out front. Now the 22 P2 here as Lilith Peters will now lead these guys around on the high side. We'll see if she can get that car to lead. Do not believe Lilith has scored herself a lap led. Just says, oh, she's led 3. Look at that. I'm always wrong. I don't even know why I'm here anymore. Lilith is always showing me wrong. But now a little bit of a gap between her and the 45 going to allow that inside lane to pull ahead just a little bit. So these guys were worried about some single file racing. Now maybe we might get a little bit of that as we're beyond the halfway point. We see 6 cars up there on the high side, but then just about everyone else here is single filing up, as well as last week's winner, Christopher Heller. You know, again, I don't know why I say things. You know, I'm just wrong all the time because now these guys starting to look to go back too wide, racing the 23 of Aaron Warren. Thinks better of it. Going to slide, the 09 going to slide in behind a guy. Just caught up in one of the wrecks. Somehow gets that car repaired. Not too bad of damage. Got that thing fixed up. So now, yeah, these guys starting to get single file. The 6 a little bit out of line for Hugsby back there with a push from Miles. That car looking like it's moving around a little bit for him, but he'll be okay. As you see now, Lilith Peters stuck on the high side. She is starting to fall back heavily. She was the first car on the outside up inside the top 3. Now finds her way all the way back to the 13th position as these guys continue to just stack up on the inside lane. Getting a little bit more help. Another guy we talked to earlier, Mullins there in the 64. He said he was going to try to find his way back to the front. Now trying to use the high side of the racetrack, but out front about the first I want to say, yeah, first 11 cars back to Dominic Russo, another guy we haven't talked about I don't think at all in this one. Don't want to put the broadcaster's jinx on the driver. The 47 up 24 spots, but doing himself a great job in the Menards 47 machine there, as well as Austin Bloom up 32 spots on the racetrack. So now back here once again, Lilith trying to lead that outside lane. Now has a little bit more help forming out there on the outside. Definitely some more cars in a line. We'll see how they can battle and see if they can find their way back to the front. Let's go ahead and crank it up once again. So now the front 11 starting to pull away here from the rest of the field. You saw it back there; they were still too wide, and they're starting to gap these guys back here. Now this line of 5 cars starting to get single file out there, watching those leaders slowly starting to pull away, as Lilith still trying to make that high side work out there on the racetrack. But right now, that lead pack starting to pull away a little bit from these guys. Now the top 9, have pulled away just a little. You saw the speed differences as well, even in the pack with all the pushing, or 189, and they got up to the leaders. They're about 191, so just a couple miles an hour difference. But they are starting to pull away. We'll go ahead. We'll pull up that data for you. We'll go back here. We'll try to find where are you guys at. There we go. So we'll use Chris Worrell's time here. Show his last lap versus the leader's last lap around. So, yeah, about 0.3 of a second difference for these guys that are stuck side by side right now. If they keep this up, that lead pack will continue to just pull away from these guys. And 0.3 of a second at the super speedway, that is a lot of time to give up. You can visually just see how fast they are starting to pull away. And you heard them talk about as well as the bubble. Right now, hard to kind of stay within that bubble and not lose it. Well, Hunter Senior, now starting, I believe he just got kind of out of that bubble. And now, unfortunately, for the driver of the 42, 1.3 seconds to the cars in front and 1.5 to the guys behind. But they are quickly going to reach his back bumper and go right around him. So, unfortunately, losing the lead draft here. Stephen Miles bringing up the end of the 8-car breakaway here for the lead. We're down to, we're getting down to it here. 32 laps to go in this one. Pit stops still waiting in the balance here. 22 laps, so from what I'm hearing from most of these drivers, about 8 or more so laps on a tank of fuel. But right now, the way the cautions have fell, I don't think anybody's really stretched their fuel out. We saw Stephen Miles under that last yellow flag. He had the car off, and he was clutching it around the racetrack. So fuel conservation was already on the points leader's mind. So now also bringing up the tail end of this draft, trying to maximize even more fuel save for the driver of the 1. So could he be trying to stretch it, a couple extra laps? And if everyone's at 30, if he and his teammates can figure out a way to stretch it 33, 34, it's just going to also depend, does he have enough guys on the same strategy with him where he is not pitting alone out here on the racetrack? Because we all know pitting alone on a super speedway, well, that is just signing your race away. You definitely do not want to do it. A huge speed difference here, as we'll continue to get a look back. This lead pack has really pulled away from the rest of the field here. Lilith Peters going to be looking like 3.5 seconds behind that first pack. So with these guys that have been, when they were side by side for quite a while, lost a significant amount of time to the leaders here. Get a look from the onboard in the middle of the corner. You can't even see the leaders right now until you're going to head down the back straightaway. They're about halfway down the back stretch, so a lot of ground to make up. Still about 1/10 of a second faster than this second pack here. So that first pack really doing a great job of mastering that draft here among these guys. And then just pulling away from this second pack here for the most part. They single filed back out. I think they were all watching that lead pack drive away and realized we got to figure out something. Got to imagine there was a lot of communication on the driver's chat going, guys, we can't be side by side. They're getting away. Otherwise, we'll be racing for a best. Oh, and then the 23 is going to go around back here. Aaron Warren goes for a big slide. So now it changes everything. Guys like Melnick, who were just trying to stretch that tank of fuel, and the guys in the top 8 who just pulled away from the rest of this pack. I'm sure this is the last thing they wanted to see. We'll get a look here. You kind of saw it live. Just a little bit of a stack up here. Yeah, I think that 23 found that same bump that the 18 found earlier. Maybe just jumped out of the throttle while the 72 wasn't ready for it. The 12 going to get some left front damage there. Almost picks up the rear end of the 72 car. But again, just a slide for the driver of the 23. I think you'll take that here at Talladega. throw some 4 fresh Goodyear tires on that thing and get it back going because, as we know, the big one has yet to strike here this evening. So if you can go for a single car spin at Talladega, get that yellow flag and get down pit road, I think that's exactly what the doctor would order if you're going to be involved in a crash at Talladega. Once again, appreciate everyone tuning in to the stream, seeing quite a few guys up there in the stream, watching it live. Appreciate each and every single one of you guys for checking this out. Even if it's tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, you guys go back and watch the stream. Again, much love, much appreciated. If you guys can do me one favor, just hit that thumbs up button. Hit the subscribe. You'll get notified when we go live. We got some news we'll announce shortly. Got a couple other leagues, maybe even some dirt cars coming up on the CSR broadcast channel. I'm going to have to get behind the wheel. I've done quite a bit of the rally car stuff, but as far as the sprints and the midgets and the 410s, I just haven't gotten the hang of it here on iRacing. But I have to spend some time behind the wheel. I'll be fortunate to be surrounded with some guys who know exactly what they're talking about. I know you can adjust the wings on those things and using the berm, trying to stay off the slick. I know our basics, but, when we get to the dirt stuff, which we'll announce here as soon as we can here on the CSR broadcast channel, it's going to be fun to also learn that. Really excited to get a look at that, kind of get a whole nother realm of the iRacing surface as we have kind of predominantly been with the Cup Series, or a form of the Cup Series, as you're seeing here with these Gen 4 cars. Gotta imagine now we'll see most of the leaders a good majority of the way through their fuel run. Yeah, you're going to see all the leaders coming down pit road this time. LaFrance leads them in. Not a soul left on the racetrack except for a couple of the guys hoping to take a wave around, get their lap back. We'll check in with Mr. Casey Carrington if we can here. Once he gets his pit stops out of the way, we'll watch the battle in the race off of pit road here. Curtis White coming to the attention of his crew. We'll see if he takes tires once again this time. Yeah, looking like right side tires. So guys kind of alternating. We got some contact back there in the pit zone with the 3 of Thompson. Of course, our camera likes to change. Doesn't look like anybody went around, but concerns then for the driver of the 3. Did he cave a fender in? He's already had a rough race last week at Dover. Maybe not the best race for him so far tonight. So if you're the driver of the 3, is that something that you could be worried about? Some contact on pit road. You see him there now leaving very late, losing a bunch of track positions. So LaFrance, of course, wins that race off of pit road, followed by Dayton Taylor, Jacob, Lilith, Curtis, Elijah, Dominic, Ken, Dylan, and Jared Hutton go to round out your top 10. Dylan Rosenberg, another guy. We've called his name a couple times over the last few broadcasts. And now tonight, rounding out your top 10, started 39th, up to 9th, excuse me. So Hutton actually is going to round out your top 10. But we try to say, let's see if we can dial up Casey Carrington here in that 9. Started that thing on the pole. And get his thoughts. Where are you hiding at there tonight, Mr. Casey? I don't know if he's still feeling under the weather or not. I gotta imagine he's somewhere here in Discord. If he's here, we'll find him. If not, we'll try to get a word with another couple of these guys. I'm not seeing Casey. Casey, are you hiding? Casey, if you're listening, I'm gonna find you wherever you are. But we'll go ahead and grab another couple of drivers here that maybe we haven't got a chance to talk with very often in this one. Let's bring up, well, since we're talking about them, let's see if we can bring up the driver of that 91 car. Dylan, it's Craig up in the booth. You got a copy?
Oh, yeah, man. What's up?
How's it going? Well, started P39, now solidly in the top 10. I'd say so far so good. What's your strategy going forward?
Hug the yellow line and see what happens. Because track position is really hard to come by. It took me, 68 laps to get what little to go from what little I had to get to where I am now. And I'd love to come out of here with the top 10. It'd be nice.
Well, so all has been fairly calm. We've had a couple multi-car crashes, but you still, the big one's out there somewhere. Is that something that's in the back of your mind every lap, or is it just I got myself up 30 spots right now. I'm just going to do whatever I can to keep my car here. Whatever happens, happens.
I mean, yeah, it's always in the back of your mind. It's one of those things that you know is probably going to happen at some point. And the best thing I can do is try to put myself in some kind of position where I'm either going to be away from it, i.e., in the middle of the pack. You don't want to be there, but also maybe on the bottom lane where you have maybe a little more of an escape alley. But then, you know, in the turns, the opposite kind of happens because it's really hard to go down to the apron and avoid the crash when it happens in the corner versus, you know, like the backstretch,
Right.
where you can just hang a left and go down the flat. So
Use
I
all
don't
that
know.
runoff
I'm just
room.
yeah, you can't really do that in the turns though. And what goes up must come down. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it shakes out. We got some 25. It'll be 26 to go here at the restart. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, I like the optimism, though. Hopefully you can get that 91 car up in there. We can talk to you at the end of this thing.
Oh, I'd love to. Thank you so much.
So, Dylan in the 91 machine, like you said, up 30 spots. So, he's found a way in this one to get that car up there. Now, like he said, can you keep it up there? He wants to hug the yellow line. I think a lot of guys, you heard LaFrance say that is where he wants to be as well. And, yeah, laps now ticking down. There's a lot of guys, it's got to be on their mind. We haven't had the big one just yet. Still a full house here as we're back under green, coming to 26 to go. LaFrance with another solid restart, but Dayton Taylor hanging strong on the outside as they're trying to get these cars up to speed here. Lilith Peters just behind it. Another guy we haven't really talked too much about right there. Elijah Cole in the 65, third car on the outside. He is up 3 spots from his starting position, so had a solid qualifying effort. I think he hid in the back. I think he was expecting a little bit more chaos. Now has kind of wormed his way back up to the front where he qualified. So could the 65 be the dark horse of the night? Well, in 25 or so laps, we will find out here from the All-American Cup Series. Once again, appreciate everything. Outstanding, absolutely outstanding, the numbers that the All-American Cup Series puts out. Once again, check them out on Facebook and in their Discord. If you're looking to up your competition, maybe just love these old Gen 4 cars. A couple races left to go in the season. You might have to wait until the next one around, but I don't think you're going to want to miss it. Hopefully these guys got another season in them. Mr. Carrington can put one together again. As Lilith getting a little out of shape there, but they all hang on to it. Dayton Taylor now, the guy who had his heart ripped out last week there by a late caution, now to the lead in 3 and 4, leaving the outside to Elijah Cole. Now, Connor LaFrance, he said he wanted to be on the bottom, but I can't imagine he exactly wants to be the third car on the bottom, pinched in there. So Connor did a great job keeping that car up front, but another thing we got to keep an eye on here, still plenty of laps to go for Dayton Taylor to catch up here, but not many. 29, so he'd have to lead every lap from here on out. I think the only other guy close enough to maybe be in the equation, is Curtis White for the most laps led. So Connor LaFrance, like we said, doing a great job keeping that car up front, but now finds himself pinned on the bottom of the racetrack as Dayton Taylor and Lilith Peters lead the inside lane here. Oh, now Connor makes a big move to the outside here, trying to get back to the point. As soon as he was clear as that 65, he moved up. He did not want to be pinned in there, and there you go. Something we talked to him about. Are we going to see the side draft get a little bit more aggressive? Well, you're going to see him hang there on the door of the 01. Dayton now going to try to throw a block up the top side of the racetrack, just trying to work both lanes, trying to kill the momentum of the 5, get that bubble up in front of that front bumper of the 5 machine there, and stall that lane. But right now, that thing is motoring for the driver of the 5. Pulls even here. Going to be a little bit of movement out of that 99. See if the 5 can keep his momentum heading down the super stretch. Still side by side, heading into 3 and 4. The 99 going to pull out just a little bit ahead of the 5 there. Lilith, oh boy, Lilith touches the apron The back of that car just kind of wagging its tail just a little bit. She does an absolutely fantastic job saving that car. Curtis White a little out of shape back here as well. Almost 3 wide. They all sorted out quickly. And now, like you heard Rosenberg say, that high side, that third lane is probably not too far away from being used. And now you see a couple guys starting to venture up there. Not too many willing to fully commit up there just yet, but definitely some more interest being shown. As, a great move by Mullins there. He's slicing and dicing. You heard him say he wants to get back to the front. He has led a couple laps in this one as well, doing everything he can to pull that car up from 30th when we last spoke to him, now sitting inside the top 15 in P14. So doing a good job working that car back to the lead. Fuel really shouldn't be an issue now going forward, but you still always have the dreaded green-white checkers that could be in effect for this evening. So if we do go green-white checkers, it's going to be really, really close for these guys. As we turn this lap here, this should probably give us the lap 6 or 5 count here. 7. Okay, there it is. Wow. A little later than I expected. So 7 laps already on this tank of fuel. 21 laps to go. A lot of these guys saying the mark is 30. So a lap or 2 to spare. But if you get those dreaded green-white checkers, how is that going to affect the rest of your race? And another guy I want to talk about, Christopher Heller Jr., the last week's winner at Dover, slicing and dicing, who saw his big move back there. If you're looking at the corner of your screen, now also finds himself back inside the top 10. So some of the guys who were up here early faded back, rode around back there a little bit, just trying to keep their cars clean, now being aggressive, moving back towards the front. The other big thing is that 8-car breakaway. Those guys had to hate to see this yellow flag. They were out there by almost 4 seconds over the rest of the field. The 09 getting a little out of shape. Lilith Peters and the 09, I think, going to hit that same bump that we saw earlier with the 18 that ended up turning the 92 hard into the outside wall. So it looked like the car's really getting upset through the tri-oval, and that's par for the course for these Gen 4 cars. You saw a lot of that in real life here with the Gen 4s. A lot of the tri-oval was a dangerous zone for these guys as they were trying to push, getting around here at Talladega. Now, that did kill the momentum back here just slightly. They got a little bit spread out. Some of these guys check up again, playing it safe. And I think it's because they know the big one is still out there somewhere. It's just a matter of time. I'm starting to believe that we might not get it here for the All-American Cup Series. These guys have just been excellent tonight. It's absolutely incredible out here on the racetrack. So part of me thinks we might not get it. These guys are doing such a good job hanging on to these race cars that the big one might be as they cross the finish line here in this one. Again, these guys starting to go back single file. So I wonder, is this, again, guys just being cautious? Is it fuel strategy? These guys maybe just trying to save that little bit of fuel just in case, so they don't have to give up track position to go back down pit road. Well, I believe if LaFrance leads about 3 or 4 more laps, he will lock down the most laps led in this one. Doing a great job. And, Tommy, if he was here, he would ask me, who are your 2 picks for this evening? Well, if you got to pick a front runner, it would be very hard to argue against. France has done a great job in this one. Again, though, do you want to be the leader coming to the white flag at these super speedways? I know if you're doing a good job, you can use the bubble to your advantage and really block the runs. So the 5, and I'd even put the 99 as one of my front runners to win this race, but I think I can only pick one for a front runner, so I'm going to go with Connor LaFrance. Really hard to argue that pick as of right now. For a dark horse in this one, give me the 22 of Craig Martin. Quietly has had that car up to P2. Not sure if Craig has actually led a lap in this one. Maybe got across the line for one. No, he has not. So give me Craig Martin as my dark horse pick to score the win in this one. Just quietly aggressive there in that 22 car, doing a good job keeping that thing up front as we count them down. 17 to go this time by for the All-American Cup Series from Talladega. big slide right as we're on board here. No, I saw the one in it, so now we have a little bit more carnage here. As the 48-15, the one, your points leader, I believe, yes, was in that one as well. Some hard contact right as we went on board on the Crank It Up camera. We saw a stack up. Guys trying to jump out of the throttle there, and around they go. So let's go ahead and key this one back up for you guys. Like we said, it's something in the tri-oval. The bumps in the tri-oval. The 06 is going to slide up the hill. Yeah, we see it just a little bit. They're just a little high off that white line. The 45 going to get out of shape. The 15 trying to give room right there, and it's just going to stack up. The 48 just can't react. This is 1/4 speed. So, you know, it's easy to say, oh, they had time. But we're literally at 1/4 speed. The one just trying to make a move to go around. He got under the rear of the 51 so hard. It actually planted the nose of that thing and just spun around. The 15 going to probably get the worst end of this, looking like the 26 might have gotten some damage in it as well. The 48 trying to get a look at here of Nick. He really goes for a big slide. So the 26 will look at Strayer. He was doing a good job all race. Oh, man, I think Strayer, unfortunately, is going to also get some damage here. They were just single file. And, again, that bump in the tri-oval just going to bite these guys. Oh, that is where the 15 got hit a ton. And then I think the suspension is just broken on the front end of that 26 car. Unfortunately for him, that might take care of his chances of winning this one. You see the front bumper barely hanging on of that machine. But the other guy we really got to get a look at here was Steven Miles here. He suffered quite a bit of damage in this one. Yeah, the rear end kind of packed in on that one car. The 51 was okay. He really went for a slide. So, again, just impressive how many times these guys have just gone for long slides out there on the racetrack. Well, I believe there's Melnick. So if we look at the points coming into this one, Miles was ahead of Heller by just a little bit. Casey Carrington, excuse me, Justin Thompson right there in the mix, and then with this one kind of getting mixed up. Gonna get very interesting to see the points battle at the end of this one here again tonight, because it's some of these guys just struggling. Miles just getting caught up in that one with a ton of cars still on the racetrack. A lot of points to be gained or lost out here, falling now all the way back to 29th out here. Not where he wants to be, as guys like Dayton Taylor riding third, Heller fifth. So could be another large shakeup in the points here at the end of Talladega. Gonna be wild to see how this one plays out. We'll see if we can grab anybody here as the laps are counting down. Let's bring in Mr. Thompson. He lost the points lead last week. But Thompson, it's Craig up in the booth. You got a copy? Where are you hiding at in the running order? I'm looking for you.
I'm out of the race.
Oh, that's right. You're out. So 2 rough weeks in a row. Boy, this could really mess up the points racing for you. How aggressive are you going to have to be these last few races to get back up there and recapture that points lead?
Man, it's pretty much going to have to me turn into that person, and I don't want to do it. But, somebody that was causing problems was moving to the back. I was catching back up to the draft, and, there was like couple car lengths between me and the guy I was catching up to, and I was doing probably about 194, and he was doing probably around 180 because he had been hung out on the high side, completely no draft help whatsoever, and he just decided to pull it down in front of me. There was nowhere I could go. I definitely earned it going into turn 3. Lived up to the paint scheme.
Yeah, I noticed you switched it up tonight.
Yeah, I
that
switched
was
it up for the plate tracks, and
was that the incident with it was I believe if I'm right was that the 72 if my memory is serving me right?
lap 72.
No, 72 cars. Somebody pulled up in front of you guys, stacked you all up, and then you yourself and a couple others went around. Was that the? It was a blue car, I believe. Blue and black car.
Um, no, that was Flanagan. That was earlier. It was a Lowe's car that did it.
Okay. I don't. We must have missed it. SDK's been missing a lot the last couple weeks. So
Oh, it was on the end of lap 72,
end of lap
coming to
72.
73.
All right, we'll go back and take a look at that one. We're getting ready to go back green. Before we let you go, what's your outlooks going into Kansas?
I'm gonna be turning a lot of laps, trying to find all the speed I can find in the car, and hopefully I can put it on the pole and just walk away from everybody.
Well, good luck. We'll hopefully catch up with you next week.
We shall see.
So frustration for Thompson. 2 rough weeks in a row. Really going to hurt him in the points. As long as Heller Jr., Dayton Taylor, Lilith Peters keep these cars up front. I'm sure he doesn't wish them unwell. But when it comes time for the points, as we're heading to, we're in the second half of the season. Just a couple races to go. Really, I believe we got Kansas, Richmond. I'm gonna have to remind myself of what the schedule is coming up here. I believe we're down to 5 races to go after this one. So with 2 rough 30th place plus finishes for Thompson, losing the lead, it's going to get tough to overcome. But a multi-time champion, he should be able to show us what he is made of. But right now, the guys and gals he's racing at the top of the point standings, having themselves a good day, with the exception of Miles, who just got caught up in that one, finds himself
Green flag.
scored in the back of this pack right now. 30th for your points leader, but everyone around him, Peters, Heller Jr., Dayton Taylor, right up front as we are 12 laps to go for the All-American Cup Series from Talladega. Gotta imagine now at this point, it's show me what you got. These guys a lot harder to the back bumpers, trying to get their respective lanes moving through 1 and 2. Probably the most aggressive pushing that we've seen so far. Guys really getting after it now. The 65 of Elijah Cole inches ahead. Does he ditch Lilith as soon as he can to get down there and block the bottom? Right now, Connor LaFrance coming back, but now the 65 to the bottom of the racetrack. Through 3 and 4, coming down to handfuls of laps to go. Will we see that third line come into play? So far, no one has really tried it. Some guys have shown their nose, but at the time, no one wanted to go with them. So now, still side by side up front for the lead. If you're somebody back there around the 50 car of Hutton, are you the guy that now wants to try to make it 3 wide and say, well, I ain't going to win from 14th, so I got to do something to get back up there? It looked like we may have just lost whoever was right behind Peters. Oh, now he's back. Okay, 7. So we just, Jacob, just a little bit of internet connection, but that little bit right there really hurt that outside lane. As you see the inside starting to move forward. Craig Martin there in the 22, looking like he wants to inch up right there, but he's been one of the quote-unquote bottom feeders of this one. Right now, the 47, again, Dominic Russo having a great race, up 29 spots. Dylan Rosenberg there in the 91, up 32 spots. You heard him say the yellow line is going to be his best friend. He wants to keep it there. He said tonight, basically a top 10 is a win to him, so he is just trying to do anything he can to keep that 91 car up front right now. Again, the top 6 starting to pull away. Now top 7 side by side with Hutton and Peters there. Curtis White trying to get that outside lane going, but right now the inside lane really just showing some strength as the pushes are starting to get more aggressive. Elijah Cole out front of Connor LaFrance, who has dominated this one. Dayton Taylor, 2 heartbreak races so far under our coverage that we've had under CSR. Gotta imagine he's going to be aggressive to finally get that win. Last week's winner, Christopher Heller Jr., as well, from Dover right here inside your top 5. So a lot of the guys we see at the front now starting to show a little bit of muscle, but if you are your points leader, Stephen Miles, he's gained 10 spots since the last restart there, using the bottom side of the racetrack. He's kind of kept that along the yellow line and has made up some significant ground as you see how much Lilith, Peters, and Curtis White have lost out there on the outside. A tough break from them. Mullins as well was restarted 30th about 3 cautions ago. Made himself up into the top 10. Now stuck on the outside, falling all the way back to 23rd again as well. Now up front, LaFrance jumped out of line. Dayton Taylor not going to go with him. So the guy who's led a good majority of this race now might get hung out to dry. I think Dayton knew that 5 has been strong all race. So if there's the competitor in you says, if I can send him to the back now, maybe I don't have to deal with him in 8 laps here at Talladega. Elijah Cole continues to lead them around. Now Heller Jr. up to 3rd. Craig Martin 4th. Dominic Russo 5th. Rosenberg up inside that top 10 where he wants to be in 5th. Now Hutton continue not to let LaFrance in the line. This has got to be heartbreaking. The guy who has dominated this race now quickly falling to the back. Another guy who started on the pole, Carrington here, in the night, was a lap down, had some significant damage to the right front of that car, has spent probably about 70 laps of this race trying to repair that damage and get that lap back. Right now, that pass right there puts him P12, so a good recovery for the driver of the 9 as LaFrance continues to find himself sliding his way backward. That hump almost upsetting these guys back here again. Got to lose some momentum now on the inside, but up front, still single file right now as we head to 7 to go from Talladega. If you're Elijah Cole, how much mirror driving are you doing at this point? I mean, it's got to be weighing on your mind. When do they make the move? You got to assume they're going to take the outside. Yeah, really got to worry about throwing that block and jacking up the rear of these cars. You know, you want to manage the gap as well. You heard him say that you can kind of control the car behind you with a bubble. So if the 99 starts laying back, you got to imagine Elijah Cole is going to try to close that gap up and not allow him to get that big run. Try to use the bubble to his advantages. Now, your top 8 and 9 positions have pulled away 1.4 seconds over the second pack. They got racy back here. Starting to lose ground. Now LaFrance has got some. Oh, now the 28 hard contact into the wall. He slides down, grabs your points leader, and oh, Carrington is in it as well. Several cars going around here. A small parking lot in 3 and 4. Not the big one that we've historically seen here from Talladega, but this will definitely change the outlook on points. We have to see where this one started because it started in that breakaway again. These guys were doing a great job getting away from the rest of the field. Maybe had a chance to just race it out among themselves here. We'll go live. I believe this is going to be after the fact. It's going to be somewhere right around here. So, oh, yeah, the 28 is already in the outside wall. We got to try to see what happens a little further up here. Yeah, thank you so much, SDK, for giving us things well after the fact. Appreciate that. So I'll try to queue up the 28 here. I'm just going to leave it paused because I don't want to continue to go through. So Mitchell Mark here. With the 45 right here. They're pushing down the back straightaway. Just going to slide up the hill here a little bit. Oh, man. And then the rest of the pack is coming. Going to tag Miles and the 9 right there. Going to get the 6 and the 64 of Mullins involved. 51 doing a great job just jumping on the brakes there. So a tough break. We got to go back one more time and see what happens with the 28 and the 45. Try to get one more look at it here. Try to get you a slightly different camera angle of it all. Here, let's back it up here just a little bit. See if we can see what happens here. 45 just pushing right there. Slides up, and then that's tough to say. I'm glad I'm not on the admin board that has to hand out any type of penalties or probations or any of that, because I'm not really sure how to analyze that one. It looked like the 45 was trying to push and then maybe just thought he could tuck back in. It was a little too far forward, but nonetheless, a tough break for Mitchell Mark and the leaders who, again, had a breakaway. There was a handful of laps to go, and now they're going to have to race the whole field. So Elijah Cole, Dayton Taylor, Christopher Heller, Craig Martin, Dominic Russo, Dylan Rosenberg, Jared Hutton, Austin Bloom there in the 45 machine, Walker there in the 13, and Connor LaFrance. This is where he's going to have to show his muscle. He's been strong all night long, got hung out to dry. Almost like an old school Martinsville. Everyone wrapped the bottom of the racetrack, and nobody wanted to let him in line. Fell way back. Now the guy who has led a huge portion of this race, 40 of the 90 or so laps led here for the driver of the 5, really going to have to flex some muscle and show us what he's made of to get that car back to the front. Going to be tough, but definitely not out of the equation for the driver of the 5. The lights are still on the pace car here. We'll see if we have anybody left to get some interviews with here. We see Walker down there in the chat as well, trying to get going. Just getting some messages on Discord, just trying to keep up with everything. You know, we're looking at their Discord and SDK and everything. Tommy, you need to get your ass back here and help me out, man. This is, I'm ADHD, but I don't know if I can keep up with all this. There's a lot going on in this one. We haven't not seen the historical 3 wide that we usually do at Talladega. We haven't seen the big one. We've seen now our 4 and our 5 car wreck, but we haven't seen that 20 car pile up just yet. Again, I'm not sure if we're going to get it from this series. These guys have been racing cautiously, but now we're heading down to, I believe when we go back, we might be very close to a natural green-white checker. Oh, is Elijah starting to blink a little bit? Don't want to have that as you're leading after almost 90 laps here. Coming down to the closing one, so the lights should turn off on the pace car this time by, let's see if we can get a word real quick with, oh, come on now. There we go. Let's see if we can get a quick chat with Mr. Curtis White. Curtis, it's Craig up in the booth.
Craig, it's about time you dragged me in here. It's getting lonely.
Well, up front for a good majority of this one. We've seen a couple heartbreaks. Is this where the heartbreak turns into just pure joy? Are we going to bring that thing from 12th up to the lead and get that win that you've been so deserving of?
I don't know. This is the most out front I'm ever used to at a super speedway. My game plan has always been to hang at the back, but because of this terrible draft package, you can't afford to do that. So I've had no choice but to stay up at the front all day. It's been good. That last restart, the 7, blinked in and out of existence for like a whole 2 seconds. Not his fault, just really bad timing, because that really stalled our lineup big time.
Yeah, that absolutely killed that outside lane.
Shout out to LaFrance, though. He built up a huge run when everyone got single file and there was a big checkup in the trial, and that bailed me out. Now I'm back up near the front, so I don't know. We're just gonna my plan is just to survive. I'm gonna stick to my plan and just keep praying, because you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, we haven't seen the big one just yet, so it could still be on the docket, but I'll get you back down here with your team for this final start of this.
Appreciate it. Enjoy the show.
Curtis White Air into 63, like we said, has suffered a couple heartbreaks in this one, so gonna see what he's made of right here, because it could be tough. I'm just trying to make sure I'm putting him back in the right team here, so I don't jack his strategy all up. Yeah, we got him back in the right chat, so there we go. So Curtis White, again, a couple of heartbreak races for him so far while we've been broadcasting, but maybe tonight he sneaks his way from the back to the front. Another guy got caught up in some stuff earlier, Nick Gowan, now finds himself back inside the top 10. So this could get interesting. Elijah Cole doing a good job up front. Dayton Taylor, again, a couple heartbreakers. Craig Martin, my dark horse pick. Last week's winner, Christopher Heller Jr., right in the mix as well. They are in the zone. They are away. We got, I believe, our first and our natural green-white checker here this evening. Elijah Cole drag race into with Dayton Taylor into turns 1 and 2. Can Dayton clear him down the back straightaway and see if he can block that inside lane where it seems like once a car gets up in there, if they can get 1 or 2 cars clear, they are able to defend. But now the laps are just about out here from Talladega. Gonna see a huge push here from the 22 to the back bumper of the 99 as they head down the super stretch. If the 99 can get clear, is he going to drop down right now? The 65 battles back hard on the bottom of the racetrack. We're going to have to keep our eyes everywhere because the laps are counting down. The aggressiveness could go through the roof. Still 2x2 for a majority of the field as they come out of turn 4, heading into the trial where we've seen most of our action here this evening. The pushes are going to get harder. Don't forget, LaFrance, back there in that 5 car, has dominated this race, but it doesn't matter if the yellow flag flies now. We are 1 lap to go for the All-American Cup Series. Elijah Cole, Dayton Taylor, side by side through turns 1 and 2. Craig Martin right there on the outside. Heller Jr. on the inside. The 47 of Russo has had a great race. Can he make a move now? A good push going down, a ton of momentum. Rosenberg with a huge push to the back of the 22. Can the 22 do anything with it as they can look into 3 and 4? Dayton Taylor clears the inside now. Where does the 22 go? The 22 with a huge move to the bottom of the racetrack. Can he get enough momentum? There is a gap up to Dayton Taylor. Can he do anything? The 99 is going to have to block hard. They're out of turns 4. Dayton Taylor can see the travel. Craig Martin makes the move to the outside. Dayton tries to block. He can't get there in time. The 22 on the outside. The 99 on the in. Who's going to come back to the line first here? It's going to be the 22 of Craig Martin. Wins from Talladega as now they wad him up in behind. We have the biggest wreck of the night like we call it, my dark horse pick. Craig Martin scores the victory from Talladega for the All-American Cup Series. What an absolute awesome last lap. And once again, though, heartbreak for Dayton Taylor this week. But Craig Martin gonna grab the victory here. We got to get your winner up here with us here. We'll let him get a chance to get his emotions out, talk to his teammates for a second, get that car down to the front straight away. I got to imagine you're going to see him burn it down as he's banging doors there. Let's shut this down. We'll get another look at that last lap here in just a moment. Craig Martin, however, comes back. I called it earlier. He's a guy who can get it done on super speedways. We know he's used to these big drafting tracks. Pulls it down to the start-finish line, and Craig Martin going to burn it down at the start-finish line. Let's see if we can get a word with tonight's winner. I know you're in here, Craig, in the Piston Broke Motorsports chat. Let's get him on up here. Craig, it's Craig in the booth. You got it done. You were my dark horse pick win for the night. You bring it home. How excited are you, man?
Pretty excited, buddy. Oh, the skies opened up there in the last lap. I'm like, oh, I mean, it's got to be. It's got to be. It's meant to be.
Well, yeah, we saw you get the 99 out front. Then was there a little bit of cat and mouse? Were you laying back just a little bit to try to get that run out of 3 and 4? You know, give us your thoughts here as you came down the back straightaway.
Well, I was actually playing with that a little bit in the practice. I'm like, okay, if I can get to the outside, if I time it right, I'll have enough of a pull it'll put me through. But yeah, I mean, it worked perfectly. The 91 did a hell of a job behind me. He's always had my back there and kept giving me the nudges I needed. And yeah, it's just nice and clean, right on, slipped right on by. Perfect.
Well, you score the big win here tonight. Anybody you want to give a shout out to, some of those teammates or some of the unsung heroes that helped get that 22 car to victory lane?
Yeah, definitely a bunch of the team members, you know, like it goes with to Melnick, I'm lost for words. I mean, Justin, he had a tough time. He didn't make the race tonight, but yeah, Josh, Dylan, Daniel. I mean, yeah, Mitchell, Mark. I mean, and the new addition, Hunter. I mean, yeah, I just, yeah, I don't know. I don't have many words I can put together right now. I'm so happy.
Well, awesome job. Fantastic race. You kept that car up front for a good majority of the night. Was that just part of your strategy? That were, I said I wasn't sure if we were even going to see the big one out of you guys, and it might be when you come across the start finish line. That's finally when we saw it. But traditionally, we see these large wrecks here on the super speedways, but tonight it seemed calm. Everyone was kind of minding their P's and Q's. So once you saw that, where you're like, okay, I'm gonna try to get my car to the front, and this is where I'm just gonna keep it, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, it's definitely the majority of the race. I was just trying to stay close to the front to stay out of the craziness. There was a couple issues that happened up front, and I knew if I could just stay up there, keep clean, I've got a pretty good shot. So, I mean, that was the game plan the whole race. Didn't have the best qualifying effort, but yeah, definitely picked my spots, moved to the front, played my games, played with the a couple of teammates, making sure we were running well, and yeah, definitely paid off. That's for sure.
Well, once again, congrats on the win, buddy. Great move there on the last lap. Congratulations once again.
Awesome, thanks, man. And one more shout out, or actually two. One to my dad. I know he's gonna be watching it back. And definitely to you. I always appreciate your broadcast. You always do a great job, and yeah, I mean, I like talking to you. So I hope I can do it more often.
All right. Well, we'll catch up with you here after this one. Congrats on the win, buddy.
Thanks, Craig.
Well, Craig Martin gets it done this evening. So let's go ahead and get those final results from you. Subject to change if there's any penalties or anything to be given out. I don't think so, though. I think this one was pretty well played down to the end. I mean, you see them here. I mean, the whole field under a blanket. Heller's getting turned to the outside wall. Rosenberg's going around. But, I'll just give you a quick look right here. I mean, you're almost 5 and 6 wide at some point, and they're all chasing Craig Martin. So while we got the opportunity, let's bring up the final results for this evening's race. So obviously, Craig Martin gets it done. Dayton Taylor, Elijah Cole, Christopher Heller Jr., Walter McNantley. I'm going to say McNantley. There, Walker, like I said, you're going to have to correct me there if I am wrong. Dominic Russo, Connor LaFrance battles all the way back after dropping, I believe, almost into the 20s with just a couple laps ago. That caution definitely helping him, but still battles back. I believe he restarted 12th or so. Battles back to P7. Dylan, he said he top 10 would feel like a win. I know he was a little closer to the front than where he crossed the start-finish line, but, he gets that top 10 that he was looking for. Jared Hutton and Curtis White come back and round out your top 10 as you get a look at the rest of the finishing results. Casey Carrington, got to give him a lot of tip of the hat there for getting involved in quite a few things and staying with it. Obviously not the finish he wanted, but it's definitely better than finishing where he was earlier, a lap down, running in the 30s, as well as Steve Melnick came all the way back there after he's had that car pretty clean as well. I believe I'm looking for Stephen Biles. That's who I'm looking for. Your current points leader. Well, we'll have to check the standings after the night with Dayton's good finish. But again, another guy, one of the last cautions of the race, battles back and finishes 12th. So might be able to maintain that points lead as you see the rest of your final results here this evening. Some guys caught up in accidents, multi-laps down, and having to retire earlier, as well as Justin Thompson, unfortunately for him. 2 rough races in a row for going into last week's race. The points leader now might be suffering here. He said the elbows might be coming out for the driver of the 3 car and needing to really get that thing pointed back the right direction. But let's bring in our P2 finisher tonight. Dayton, another heartbreaker, but a better finish than last week.
Yep.
Could you see the run kind of formulating there for the 22? Were you watching the mirror, or was it just were you trying to maintain that gap, or you kind of did you know you were in a bad spot going into 3 and 4 as the leader?
I thought I was in a fantastic spot. I ran the 22 as high up as I go. They're 3 wide behind me. I expect the 65 to push, and he puts me bottom 4. So, not really nothing else I can do differently, but, shit happens, and yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame you for being frustrated. Grabbing the lead there. Great restart. You kept the car up front all night. P2's not where you want to be, but still a strong run. The way the points are looking with Miles, he finished his comeback and battled back to 12th. Thompson had another rough race. Could propel you even further in the points. I know the finish isn't where you want to be tonight, but looking forward, you might be sitting pretty heading into these final few races of the season.
I mean, it's crazy to think after DNQing Daytona that you'd still be in a championship fight, but yeah, I guess just keep chugging at it. Kansas should be another fantastic race for me. Richmond, I can't say the same, but yeah.
Well, appreciate you letting us get a chat with you here at the end of this one.
Yep. Appreciate you.
So, you heard the elations of Martin, a little bit of frustration from Dayton, but I think when he looks back and when they get those final points posted up there, I think he'll be sitting pretty there in the points. I really think that Dayton could either be the points leader or close to it. I know Heller had a fantastic race as well, even though he's facing the inside wall right here. Could be a good points day for him as well. Trying to see who of our top 5 is still down here in chat. Trying to go through here. Elijah Cole, there you are. We're going to just be stealing guys left and right. We talked to him earlier. Where did I... I'm over here. I'm just moving guys. I don't even know where I just dropped him. There he is. Come on back. Let's get your P3 finisher in here. Elijah, green, white checker. Started in the lead. Got past. Battled back to 3rd. Are we taking positives away, or are we frustrated with leading that final stint of that race and coming home 3rd?
Considering how my Daytona went at the start of the season, this is a big up for me. We just didn't quite have the momentum on the inside line there. But, I mean, I did about the best I could with what I had. Big congrats to Craig. He earned that. But, yeah, real nice.
I mean,
happy with 3rd.
Yeah, it's tough to be happy. It's a mix of emotions, right? When you take the green, white check, you're in the lead, you're the control car, you're thinking in a good spot, you got a strategy in mind, and then it all kinds of goes sideways. You don't win, but you still look up at standings and you finish 3rd. I mean, in this class of drivers that you see out here, just how big is a podium finish in this series?
I mean, I think it's huge. You can be as fast as you can, but you have to truly put the whole race together to even sniff a top-end finish. And that's what we did tonight. So we can build on this and keep going forwards.
Well, I think you said it right there. How do you take this momentum now into Kansas?
Try to get better at intermediates, I guess.
So what you're saying is you're going to spend a lot of laps at Kansas this week leading up to next week.
Well, shoot, I hope.
Well, good luck.
As many as I can.
Good luck to you. Go heading into Kansas. Again, congratulations on the podium, bud.
Thank you.
So Elijah Cole comes home 3rd here this evening for Team RPM. We'll also have to try to get a look at your team standings here as well, because a lot of diversity up here in your top 5 here tonight. Just one guy, I want to see if he's still down there in chat. I saw him a minute ago. Don't know. Yeah, he's still here. Well, I want to bring in Connor. Connor, resiliency, they left you out to dry. I think they knew how strong you were. You faded way back. Fell out of the lead draft, got the caution. I believe you restarted 12th, 13th, somewhere in there. Battle back to 7th. Are you feeling defeated because you were so strong? Or are you happy that you were able to recover some of those spots and still come home with a top 10?
It was a good recovery. I mean, I was pretty quick to the gun there to take my run when I had it, but yeah, it was pretty painful watching all those spots drive past me. But yeah, I was glad to recover a little bit. So
Yeah, I compared it to when you were in these Gen 4 cars and you were on the high side at Martinsville. You just watch the inside like a conveyor belt
yeah,
go
there's
by.
no chance. You just have to sit there and watch it, and you can do nothing about it.
Well, I just want to get some words with you because it was a great recovery because, yeah, you guys fell way back in that one. So, again, not the finish that you were probably looking for after dominating. I believe you had 40 laps led of the 94. So bittersweet top 10.
I would say so. Yeah.
Well, nonetheless, good job battling back and grabbing that top 10.
Thank you, sir. I'll see you next week.
All right. Well, I see him. He's no longer hiding no more. So we're going to grab him while we have the opportunity before he runs away again. If we can. Hold on. Let's see if we can dial up the driver of the 9. Casey, are we feeling better than the last time we talked to you last weekend at Indy?
Well, I mean, I didn't win the race this time, so you saw you saw the race the last 2 weeks. You think I'm feeling too well at all?
Yeah. Well, you started on the pole, so things started well. You got caught up in a wreck. You probably spent, I'd say at least 60, maybe 70 laps repairing damage, getting a lap back, trying to get back through the field, got caught up in another one, repaired the last bit of the damage. With the points battle being as close as it is, I know a top 20 isn't what the doctor ordered, but it sure beats being down in the 30s.
Yeah, I mean, considering I figured my race was over when you've got 7 minutes of damage on lap 20 and you literally can't even turn the car and make the corner. I was driving Talladega like it was, I don't even know, Chicagoland or something just to make the corner.
Yeah.
But, I mean, 20th, I mean, hey, that's probably in the upper half of my finishes at Talladega in this league, unfortunately. So, yet another super speedway where I win the pole and don't lead a single lap. But, it just sucks too because both wrecks I was in, it was like somebody wrecked way ahead of me, and then they just, came down the track and quit me.
Yeah,
but,
and they were just glancing blows, but just enough to send you to the pits for quite a while. But just wanted to get a word with you. Like, how do you stick with it? Like you said, 7 minutes of damage on lap 20. In this one, we still lost less cautions at Talladega than we did Dover. So kudos to you guys. I kept waiting for the big one. We never got it. We had a couple car wrecks. But how do you just stay focused when you're like, oh man, I still, you go in the pits, you get 2 minutes done, and then you're trying to do another 2 minutes, and then you're trapped a lap down. How do you stick with it to come all the way back and still, you had a chance, you were in the mix, you got shuffled back there a little bit, but how do you just stay resilient when the night starts off that rough?
What's that people do when they're like abducted or whatever, like disassociation?
Yeah.
That's about what I was doing for the first 50 laps or so. Because I think last season, maybe not last season, but the last year when we ran Talladega in the fall, I think we had one caution. So I was expecting, I'm going to be like 10 laps down and have half my damage still at the end of the race. If I had known that I was going to be able to get it all fixed, I probably wouldn't have been in such a down mood. But yeah, I mean, it's the only time I've made it to the end of the race with no damage. At Daytona, I got taken out under caution halfway through.
Oh,
Talladega last season, I got taken out on lap 3 and was completely out of the race.
Oh boy.
Daytona last season, I got taken out on lap 9 and had damage the rest of the race. So, I mean, hey, this is my best plate race all year, so I'm not too down of a mood.
There you go. Take the positives out of it. Well, one other thing to take away is I know you're the commissioner of the league. And right now, that points battle amongst that top 5 or 6, which you are heavily involved in as well. A big shakeup last week. We could see even more of a shakeup. How excited are you, just as the guy who's putting this whole thing together, to see as the season's winding out that the points battle is so close amongst several drivers?
Yeah, it really looked at the start of the year like Thompson was going to run away with it. His luck's kind of balanced out where he's gotten killed the last couple weeks, and it's really tightened the points battle up. I mean, especially with this being a short season, with there only being 12 races, Yeah. I mean, you can't really afford too many nights like I had tonight, unfortunately. But like I said, I'm used to throwing championships away at Daytona and Talladega. So, yeah, I'm excited. I haven't really gotten a chance to actually look at the points. I'm the one that updated them, but I don't. Let's see here. I'll even get my actual reaction. Yeah, I mean, we got 8 drivers still within a race of the points lead. Miles built a bit of a gap, but yeah, I mean, hey, it's anybody's race. We still got Richmond, so there's another 15-20 caution race coming up.
Yeah,
And then,
I think Richmond right now, Richmond and Dover could be more of the wild card races than the Talladega one was tonight.
yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I wish this drafting model for this car was better. It was better when the car came out and they made some adjustments to it and really kind of missed the mark. And I hope it wasn't too boring, especially with all the cautions for you doing the broadcast and the viewers. But hopefully the next time we come to Dega, the racing's a bit better than we saw tonight.
Yeah, I mean, no, I thought it was still great. It was definitely different. I was from watching practice and I have seen these cars out on the track before. It wasn't your traditional 3 wide, but it wasn't exactly just the single lane, the conveyor belt going around. The one thing I noticed that I behind the wheel, I'm sure you noticed it was odd how a lot of guys used the second lane to get the lead, but as soon as they got there, they went and tried to defend, and they went immediately to the bottom. Do you think that's just attributing to the package that iRacing has under these cars right now?
Yeah, I mean, at Talladega especially, you just want to hug the bottom lane and stay in line. Now the checking up is really bad when you've got 30, 40 cars in a line.
Yeah.
So it does, present some opportunities for the outside to get a run, but you really got to be focused and paying attention to what you're doing. There was a point there right after I fixed all my damage that I jumped out of line going with the momentum on the outside, and then everybody bailed on me, and I lost like 20 spots and ended up losing the draft. So it's like, it's so fickle, man. And yeah, like I said, I really hope they make some tweaks to it, because it's better than being 2 and 3 wide gridlocks the whole race with really nowhere to go. But
yeah,
which we see a lot. It sucks when
we see a lot with the Gen 7 setup that they have right now.
Yeah, I know. So it's like, it sucks. The part about it that sucks is just when you're at the back of the pack, it's just like the next gens where the last car in line always loses the draft no matter what. So
yeah. Well, the attrition was there for you. You battled to still stay within the championship fight. So what are you looking forward to now getting to Kansas?
Hopefully, running in a position on track based on skill and not whether you were in a wreck or not, or which lane you were in. Yeah, I'm hoping for a pretty good race. I mean, this car does race pretty well at intermediates, and we haven't been to Kansas in this car yet. So, hopefully I can qualify well and not, start 20th or whatever I did at Chicagoland and work my way up to the field. And hopefully, more than anything, I just hope we have a clean race. It's been bad at Michigan and Dover and even tonight. So I hope people, maintain control of their vehicles.
Well, looking forward to getting back with you guys next week. Appreciate you letting us bed your ear for a little bit.
Yeah, thanks, yes. Or just guy.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's just me. Tommy
pulling a
left me
solo
high.
job.
Yeah, Tommy left me high and dry tonight. Well, Casey Carrington, the CEO of it all right here. We got one more guy we want to bring in here because, he did say a top 10 would feel like a win. So, Dylan, you got the top 10 you were looking for. You're a little closer than where you finished, but are we still as ecstatic getting that top 10 that you were looking for?
100%.
I mean, when you start 39th and you finish 8th, you've had yourself a pretty successful race. What more did you need there on the last lap? You were the third guy in line. You really gave a good shove to the 22 to get the 99 out there in front. Did you just maybe need somebody shoving you just a little bit harder to maybe put yourself in the mix before it all kind of went sideways about, 20 yards before the start-finish line?
Yes and no, and I say that because it's really hard to, as I mentioned earlier, to make up track position. So lining up for that last restart, 6th, third car on the outside, I had Craig right in front of me, who's basically like a pseudo teammate. Like the race team, Piston Broke Motorsports, we're basically under the same roof at this point. But anyways, so Craig's like a teammate, and I wanted him to win so bad. So we just had a brief discussion, like, how we're going to do this, or can we do this? And we got a really good run down the backstretch. and I got a little bit of separation behind me, but I was really hooked up nicely to Craig, and I guess he had a teeny bit of gap in front of him to the who was it? With the 99? Yeah, the 99 car.
Yeah, about a car
Yep.
length.
Yeah, so my objective there was because I couldn't win the race, but I also didn't want to do anything to try to win and then throw it away for Craig.
Yeah.
So honestly, because there was no way that we were both gonna come out of there with a 1-2 finish. A 1-3, 1-4 was still in the cards, but so I kind of just pushed him and did the best I could to get him out there, and then try to side draft the 66 coming out of turn 4 the 65 rather. Try to side draft him just to give Craig a little bit of separation behind him so he could make some kind of move without getting stampede from behind. And fortunately it worked out, and I'm okay with, I'm not thrilled about crashing out and losing 3-4 spots, but as far as I'm concerned, this was about as good as it gets. I am perfectly okay with a P8 given what happened this evening, and a Craig Martin W. How can it get any better?
Yeah, amen. Yeah, Craig, a great guy. Appreciate you
Oh,
letting
yeah.
us check in with you here. Hopefully we'll catch up with you once the broadcast and the cameras are all off. We'll jump down there and meet up with you guys.
Alrighty, see you there.
So you see it here, the chaos right at the end of this one. We'll rewind it back one more time. We'll get a couple views of Craig Martin's move here at the end. You heard him there just trying to hang on the door there, the 65, trying to get his unofficial but official teammate to the front there. And Craig just ever off the back bumper, just a little bit of the 99's going to get this big run out of turn 4. Just enough momentum. The 99 trying to run him up there in the wall, but races him clean. You got to respect that a lot for Dayton Taylor there. Could have been a little dirty with it, but decided to show the utmost respect, run the guy clean all the way to the start finish. And right here, you see the field come across the line, but you also see the chaos as they come across the line. There's no lifting now. Everyone trying to get all the spots that they could in this one. Well, appreciate everyone once again for tuning in with us at the CSR broadcast channel. This one of the All-American Cup Series. We will be back with them next Thursday in these Gen 4 cars from Kansas. That one should be an absolute blast as well. We have MOTD coming up next Tuesday as well. They're going to be in the 87s. So that one could be an absolute, it could be a fantastic race, or it could be a shit show. In that one, you're not going to want to miss that one, as well as we're going to try to get linked up with the S&M series. We have spent far too long since we have gotten with those boys there this weekend. So once again, appreciate all you guys coming out and checking out the CSR broadcast of the All-American Cup Series from Talladega this evening. Craig Martin grabs the win here this evening. Make sure you check us out on our Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Likewise, again, YouTube broadcasting in the Ultra HD. So definitely, if you're on Twitch, slide on over there. You'll get a much higher quality. Twitch doesn't want to give us that option yet. Hopefully, one day soon they will. But Craig Martin wins here this evening for the All-American Cup Series. We will catch up with you guys very soon, hopefully tomorrow night, for the S&M race from Talladega.